everybody, welcome back to the Giant Beastcast. It is Thursday, March 4th, Friday, March 5th, episode 302. Wow, 302. That one 302 sounds larger than 300 episodes. And you know why? Because it is. It
sounds old. It sounds like an older person.
I'm 302. I haven't made a duty I haven't made a solid duty I would give a kidney to make a firm duty.
Workshop. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep the bit going.
What I wouldn't give to be 20 to just make a solid shit.
Jesus. Oh no.
Oh no.
Really kicking things off with a bang.
I wish to make a solid bang. I would if I were 20. When I was 20, the bangs were so solid.
Oh, we have a lot to look forward to.
I'm sorry, I'm actually updating the doc with the right dates as we speak. I forgot to do it before, and
I don't
can't
think it
start
matters
the show
at
there.
this point. The show has already started.
Like, who cares?
I do.
Who cares?
because I have things wrong with my brain. Okay, and if you want to know, I'm a superstitious person. I need to do things. They need to be this way. I can't stop playing darts until I get 3 bullseyes. It's just the way things go. Okay.
Oh, your brain's broken. Nothing but a bunch of duty.
I mean, look, my brain's broken too, just in very different ways.
We all have our things. Alex Navarro is here.
He's
my thing. How are you? How are you?
Fine,
Alex?
thank
Good,
you.
Great.
I'm tired, but I'm good.
Good. Any particular reason or just?
Oh, we'll talk about the reason a little bit later when we're talking about video games.
Lots to look forward to here. Jeff Bacalar, how are you?
Hey, I'm okay. Feeling good.
Feeling good. Looking good.
Yeah. Well,
great.
It's nice of you to lie on a podcast.
I do it all the time.
How I'm looking. That's true. Don't we all? We all lie to each other.
It's not even Friday. It's Thursday.
That's it. Big lie. The big lie.
That's right. That's what they've been talking about.
I'm not even actually a co-host on this show.
Yeah,
I've been living that lie for 302 episodes.
It's amazing.
I don't even work here.
Yeah.
Who am I? Folks, we got some games to talk about, and so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to jump in and say Maquette is a game I've been playing.
I feel like you just cussed at me in a different language.
Maquette?
Yeah.
It's got Maquette.
Like, that's a thing a guy, like an Eastern European guy in a tracksuit yells at a dude when that dude is sleeping with his wife.
Well, I've only played a little bit of it. It is a game, is available on Steam. I believe Annapurna is putting it out. If you know that publisher, it might give you a sense of what kind of the vibe is here. It's a thoughtful little game. So far what I played, it seems to be about a relationship. I don't know exactly where it's going, but the mechanic in it is a puzzle game. Has you rummaging around inside this kind of model. It's a first-person game. A model, so think The Witness. It's got you rummaging around inside this model that is a representation of the real thing around you. So we've seen this mechanic before, where if you take a small thing, let's say, from the real world, put it in the model relative to the model that is now huge, and then when you look back at the thing in the real world, it's now big too. You know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense?
Oh, it's like it's like a perspective thing.
Yeah. It's got a bit of that going on.
What was that game? It was like a first person like voxel game where it did a bunch of that shit. It was like an MC Escher kind of.
We've seen it. I don't know.
Jazzy joint.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name. I know what you're talking about, though.
There was also a game that happened recently that played a lot with perspective, and I can't remember it also. That had a little Stanley Parable-ish vibe to it.
Subliminal?
Superliminal.
Superliminal. Yeah.
That's it.
So that's not what I was thinking of. The other thing I'm thinking of was a lot older, but yes, that too.
So it's got some of that, but it's not goofy in that kind of way. It is I've liked what I played of it so far. I'm gonna keep going. I don't know how long it goes, but again, available on Steam if you want to check that out. It might be available other places. That's where I played it. But really where I was spending a lot of my time was on that new Harvest Moon game.
Okay. Dan left and now you're into Harvest Moon. Is that what's happening here?
I was always into Harvest Moon, but I took
Were
a break.
you?
I was actually. I
Okay.
really loved Harvest Moon on the GameCube. I don't remember which one that was. And then when
I
I
just don't feel like I've ever heard you talk about it.
You never talk about Harvest Moon. It's my secret.
Okay.
I played Harvest Moon was the game I had on my DS or 3DS when I moved across the country, and what I played when we were in hotels. Because when you're in a hotel with a small child, you don't just like leave the hotel room to then like go hang out.
Nope.
You're kind of just in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Sounds great.
Just sitting in the bed, just
Just sitting there.
just sit there. Because what are you gonna do? So then I
Make
played
ability? I don't know.
So the one that's out now, One World.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
What-
Where are you playing it?
What are you doing?
Well, it's
here?
it's complicated. So Harvest Moon's complicated. So Harvest Moon in the United States is traditionally, as of, I don't know, I guess traditionally, almost like 10 years now, was Song of Seasons in Japan and then published by Natsume in the States. I believe this is how this goes, as Harvest Moon.
Mm-hmm.
That changed
Okay.
when the
Okay.
developers in Japan said, no, we have our own United States side publishing. And then Song of Seasons is now Song of Seasons
You're just reading all this shit,
in the
right?
States. I'm looking right at you. No, but I do
can
have it.
see-
I do have it up on a screen over here.
Like you said, okay, I just want to make sure we're transparent with our audience.
So
here.
the people, so Harvest Moon really became Song of Seasons, and then Harvest Moon changed into a different Harvest Moon here in the States. Okay, and those in the know, and those who didn't know, now they know, and those who didn't think I knew, I knew. So what is Harvest Moon? So so looking at this, I looked at the upcoming release calendar, and there are both. There's a Harvest Moon and a Song of Seasons coming out this month. So I was like, I should check. I should see what's going on here. I should see what the state of virtual farming is. And I'm gonna say, not digging this Harvest Moon.
Oh,
No. In fact,
why not?
I am frustrated by this Harvest Moon. It is aimless, and like in a game where you're farming, you don't want it to feel like work. Does that make sense? I know that probably doesn't,
Yeah.
but like you don't want it to feel like work. And the game is not especially good about telling you what you should be doing next to progress. So you can kind of just sit there being like, I don't know what. I guess I'll just sell some more tomatoes, and I guess I'll try and get a horse. Maybe I'll get a horse. And then suddenly they're like, oh, this bridge is opened up. Oh, I'll go here. Should I move? And so this one has you, sorry, Story of Seasons, not Song of Seasons. That proves that's the other Harvest Moon game. So this game has you, this Harvest Moon game has you moving your farm around to different places.
Like shifting through time and space?
No, like different zones. Like you're gonna farm on the beach now. You're gonna farm in the sand. You're gonna farm in these different areas. And
Okay, so these are new farms. They are not you
Yeah.
transplanting your existing farm to a new location, which just seems like a terrible waste of resources.
you don't. Well, when you say waste of resources, you're taking a farm, but it doesn't feel like you're ever just building a thing because you're just collapsing the
Okay.
farm into these new plots that were kind of there already. I'm not digging it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that satisfaction from these games that are like, hey, I'm going to lay out my crops a certain way. I'm going to get my cows and my chickens and I'm going to milk and I'm going to do all this stuff. And I'm just not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. Maybe I've changed, or maybe Story of Seasons is where I should be hanging out and not Harvest Moon. You guys still with me on this?
No,
I'm mostly with
checked
you.
out like
Yeah.
95, 100 seconds ago.
You making a
No, I
duty?
think I'm mostly with you. I see what you're saying. I don't have the Harvest Moon experience personally to relate directly, but there are games like this that I have played, and I think the aimlessness you were talking about and the structure you were talking about does not sound like what you seem to come to these games for.
It's like they took a little for this one. There's like a bit of Stardew Valley in there. There's like a mine you can go in and get ore, but that wasn't fun. But that's
Well, we do. Yeah, this is the point. We do live in a post Stardew Valley world now, where not to say that it is.
it's good.
completely
That's
eaten.
yeah.
It has not completely eaten Harvest Moon's crops, but it's pretty close to it. And I feel like, do people want to come to a Harvest Moon game now for something that addresses that and maybe tries to find a way to fit it more into the space of what, Stardew Valley was doing? Or are they coming to it specifically because they just want the Harvest Moon thing again and again and again?
Well, I think also Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons, what Harvest Moon traditionally was, have tried to split, right? This is
Yes.
I think this was 2014, maybe the chat can correct me. When they split, I think they're trying to define Harvest Moon now as a kind of different series where Story of Seasons is staying traditional to the Harvest Moon. I just think what Harvest Moon in this one is doing is not for me. Like I don't necessarily want to explore the world and meet new people and like learn how to grow crops in the sand. Like I want to have a farm and make it the best farm I possibly can, and I want to work until I can get the thing that turns my vegetable into seeds again, so I don't have to buy seeds anymore. That's all I want to do, and I want to get
simple man. You're just a simple man.
Simple man, simple tastes.
So let's see. We're gonna play a little bit more of it, and then we'll record that, and then hopefully play the new Story of Seasons when that comes out. Yeah.
I promise to sit in with you for that. If you need someone to talk about your farming and your Harvest Mooning and what have you, I am down for that. I will listen.
Great.
I will be there for you and your farm.
I was getting really frustrated with it. It was the first game I think I turned to my kids as they were watching me play and be like, and they're like, "Oh, is this a kids game or is this an adults game?" I was like, "I think this game is boring," and I don't think you'd have fun with it. You should keep playing Dragon Quest Builders 2. So I don't know if they'll play it. I'll see what happens there. But like, I want to talk to somebody about this game. Is anybody playing this game? Nobody.
You heard about this?
Is there a doctor?
You guys heard about this game? You know about this?
Is there anybody I can talk to about this? I need to talk. I got things. I need to talk about this. This one world. This Harvest Moon. But yeah, we'll see. I think I want to say Story of Seasons is later this month. We'll see how that goes. It's also a bit charmless. Also, the people in the world seem to be in some like post-apocalypse or like kind of the setup for Idiocracy where they don't know how plants work anymore and they don't know that cows need to eat and all the cows are sick and it's like
we're headed there. Don't sleep on that. We are fast approaching.
And like your character has like a book, and they're like, "What does it say in your book?
Where's the moon go?"
They harvested it.
And it's like, you gotta feed them grass. Damn! And it's just like, you're a wizard. Put these things in the ground. What? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
All right,
it's weird. All right. Did I make all that up? Yeah.
I don't know. After I said the moon, I instantly thought of yesterday with this like SpaceX Starship thing. Did you guys see this?
No.
I saw it blow up.
Dude, this gigantic, like, they were testing this gigantic rocket. They launched it like, I don't know how many miles.
High altitude. I don't know exactly how high.
And then they like turned off this rocket. It's big. It was like thick. It's like, it looked like a big dick, but it also
looked like something the Duck Dodgers would fucking fly.
Yeah, it looked like think of every dick in a bathroom stall you've ever seen drawn, and they were like, make that a rocket. And that's what it was.
I've been testing out this design for 70 years on bathroom walls. Now finally.
I guess, so the thing goes, and then the object was to have it like free fall, like flat, like on its belly, and then almost to the last minute, it like fires all these Raptor rockets, is what they're called, which I thought was pretty cool. And then straightens up and lands on its butt again, and it did it. But then it blew up. And then it blew up. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. Oh. It was. Were
they mid clap when? Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. I didn't see like anyone working.
I mean, nobody was in it. It was an unmanned, right? It was.
It's on. All these tests are unmanned.
Okay, just want to make sure before I start goofing on an explosion with a.
No. This isn't the 80s. That shit didn't happen again.
Okay.
And I was watching it live, and you could like it got back. It landed, and it was steamy. Right, so like the feed I was watching was like, oh, this could just be like venting of like gas or depressurizing or whatever it was. And then like you saw a little fire and you're like, oh, that's not great. And then all of a sudden, kabloom.
Oh man.
And it was wild. Anyway.
I think these days it's safer to assume a SpaceX rocket will explode eventually versus not.
I mean, there was a while there where they were just tipping over. You remember that when they would try to just land again and they'd be like, yeah.
I don't know. SpaceX has done the most successful stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they're commercially launching stuff into space with they're bringing humans to space stations.
Yeah, it's just anyway, we don't have to go down the rabbit hole there, but I thought that was wild.
Yeah, no, I like watching stuff blow up, but I wish that taxpayer dollars weren't going into all these things blowing up over and over again. I wish it was just Elon Musk's fucking money.
No, I'd be okay for it if NASA can go blow stuff up.
Yeah, like if NASA on its own wants to go do that, that's a different thing.
That's right. I want my stuff to blow up. Well, my unmanned stuff again.
I just gotta say, like, go look at what that rocket design came out like. It's girthy. Sort of like, it was almost like an anachronism where it's like we're launching a space shuttle designed in 1830. But with like 2021 technology. It was so weird. Anyway.
Was it on like a giant slingshot? Did they just pull this giant slingshot back? This is gonna work.
It's a big rubber band, guys.
Have you ever launched it? Have you ever seen a t-shirt cannon? It's gonna work.
Oh shit.
Story of Seasons, Harvest Moon. The story continues. I'm sure we'll have more in the coming weeks. I continue to play Dragon Quest Builders 2. I continue to
enjoy it.
I continue to try and hit my tablet targets. Continuing to build stuff. Yeah, it's a game. It is my retreat game for a while. So I think I'm starting to close the book on it. I think I'm gonna be done there. It's not the same. It's not the same exact thing as a Harvest Moon or something like that, but it has all these games have similar. You build the thing, you get the thing to build the thing to do the thing. So
do it.
Yeah, the factory.
Do the thing.
Games. I'm trying to think of anything else that I have jumped into. A little more Valheim, but not too much. Alex, what you got going on?
Well, I'm going to start off here before I talk about some new games that I'm playing. I want to talk about an old game that I've been playing this week.
Old game.
Now, I try not to spend too much time talking about my drum streams on here because I get it's not to everyone's taste, not what everyone's looking for necessarily. Okay. But I need to talk about a game here that I'm going to be playing tonight.
Uh-oh.
And that is Guitar Hero Metallica.
Oh, that's funny, considering we have an email about this later. Okay.
Oh, we do? Okay, yeah. Well, it's even funnier because apparently this week is the 35th anniversary of Master of Puppets, and I didn't even know that. So this all just worked out in a fortuitous way.
Great.
The reason I'm tired today is because the last couple of nights I've been practicing this game and playing it. And this is the first one and one of the few games, the Guitar Hero games, that introduced double bass charting. If you are into that sort of thing. It is a metal game, makes a certain amount of sense.
How does that work instrument wise?
So the way it worked with the original controller was, I believe you could use, there was something set up on the original Guitar Hero drum controller where you could plug in two pedals.
Oh.
So if you just bought two pedals and then they daisy chained each other, and then that's how that worked. But later on, when the advent of MIDI adapters came along, they basically just made it so that you could just hook up any bass pedal and electronic drum kit to do it, which is what I have here.
Cool. So do you have a double bass pedal?
Yes, I use it in my my general work.
Dude, he's like a metal hardcore drummer. Of course, he does.
I am, but I'm going to be real with you. My double bass is a little bit rustier than the rest of my drumming, especially this year because I have not had an opportunity to really do anything double bass in like a year.
Okay.
And
I can air double bass real well.
Oh.
You think you can, and then you realize
and then when you get in front of a kit, you're like, oh, that's not how this works.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a rhythm at all. Yeah, that's kind of where I started out at. So this is one of the games that does not have a no fail mode, I should say, right up here at the top. And for the most part, it's not that bad, but there is like a Slayer song in there that has some real wild shit in it, and there's a couple of those early Metallica songs that have some real wild shit in it.
So are you playing on expert and you're trying for 5 stars? Is that the goal?
No, the goal is to get through them. That's really it.
okay.
Like, just do it play it without failing. I'm not, but like, if I can get 5 stars, fucking fantastic. I'm glad for
okay.
it. But if we're being completely real here, considering this is, I've played Guitar Hero Metallica in the past when it came out, but I did not own it. I played it, did not play the whole thing, have not played every song in it, and I definitely did not have a double bass setup for it. So in most cases, this is going to be like the second or third time I've played any of these songs. So if I can survive, that's good enough for me.
Okay, great. Hey,
but,
good enough for me.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But thank you. It is just last night I was the sweatiest I have been since the summer. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna see a real sweaty boy by the end of the night.
You're gonna have a steamy camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ride the lightning, baby.
Yes, that's actually one of the only songs that's not in this game.
What? How?
So, okay, very briefly. Metallica, Guitar Hero Metallica came out during the time when Activision was locking up bands to exclusive agreements.
Okay.
Ride the Lightning is one of only 3 songs that were ever released as DLC in Rock Band.
Huh.
None of those 3 songs are in this game.
Okay.
But the 2 that were on Rock Band discs are Enter Sandman and Battery. They're both in this game. But those were never sold as DLC in Rock Band. They were never available outside those discs.
Know the business.
So for whatever deal they signed with Rock Band, someone just said, yeah, fuck it. It's worth not having Ride the Lightning in here to not have a song that was apparently released in Rock Band. I don't know the reasoning for it. I have no fucking idea what the hell's going on there. But not having Ride the Lightning, it's a little glaring.
It does feel like, it was the one that I wanted to pull out right away.
The pun he tried to make.
Yeah, it's right there.
Nearly everything else you would want.
There's
in here.
lightning bolts right in the Metallica logo.
I know.
Just right there. You want to ride that lightning.
So bizarre.
All right, Alex, what else is going on?
What else have I been playing?
Yes.
So you sat in on this with me.
Yes.
I'm still playing more of Fights in Tight Spaces.
Fights in Tight Spaces. Yes.
And you seem to take to that a little bit more after you saw what it was.
I did. Remember last episode, I was like, oh, here we go, deck building game. And I was like, oh, this works. I like what's happening here. It seemed like this mix of Into the Breach and Super Hot and deck building.
A little bit of like John Wick Hex in there too.
Yeah. But not too much.
Not too much. Not enough to make it go, not so much.
Yeah. So I liked what I saw.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, so I've been playing it a bunch after we recorded that Unfinished, and I've managed to get to the end of the second set of missions, though I've not beaten the boss there yet. So it is a roguelike in that when you die, you can effectively start over. Though you can start from any of the different individual chapters of missions. Like, so if I unlock the next one, I can start from there if you want, but you won't have as many power-ups to start off that mission with. So there is actually kind of a risk reward there.
Okay. So your run through the earlier missions builds your deck in a way that you won't get if you start later on.
Yes. And I actually, the other thing is that like, if you need to quit at any point, it saves your progress. So you don't lose your run if you turn it off and then come back. It's just that, once you're dead, then you kind of have to start over from wherever.
Okay. Because it seems like there were a lot of chapters, like at least
there's like
6
5.
or so, right? Okay.
There's 5, I believe. Right. And each of those is, at least a couple hours long or an hour long, I'd say, depending on, I'd probably about an hour.
Yeah. I mean, you beat that first one in under an hour or hour.
It depends on how much time you are spending thinking about your moves. Like I would say that any part of Into the Breach was super long on its own, but there were times when I was just sitting there staring at a move for like 20 minutes and didn't realize it. And I'd be like, I could see myself getting into that headspace with this one.
Yeah. There's an interesting mix up that makes it more or different than Into the Breach. It's the deck building part, right? You get your hand for this round and you're like, I have nothing to do, or like I don't have the move. I have no good offensive moves. They're just defensive slip and slide. But it has that positional play where enemies' attacks are telegraphed in a way that you want to move yourself out of that line of fire. And if you can, maybe move somebody into that line of fire, which is interesting. I like that.
And it's got the ring out thing too. So if you position a guy in just the right way, you can, kick them straight in the gut and to just push them out a door, which is great. Or over a bar, apparently. That one works too.
That's cool.
It's a neat thing. Like I said, it's in early access. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a long early access period because it seems relatively content complete. And I'm curious to see what they actually change over time. But I feel like that game is totally worth it for what it is right now.
Yeah, $20 ish. 20.
25, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is
Unfinished up now. You can go check.
Unfinished is up now. And another thing we recorded, and another thing that
Fights in
currently
Tight
costs-
Spaces. Sorry, I should say that.
Fights in Tight Spaces is the name of that game. The name of this other game, which also costs $25 on Steam and is not in early access, is just out, and we have a quick look up for, is Retromania Wrestling.
Okay.
So this game is billing itself as a direct sequel to Technos' WWF WrestleFest.
Okay.
Cool.
Do you remember that arcade game?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
What?
I think I get that there's Slam Masters and there's WrestleFest and
What was like the look of it?
The look of it was like kind of bulky sprites.
but this isn't the one with the superpowers.
No, that is WrestleMania, the arcade game.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
the midway one.
right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
That's not where Bam Bam Bigelow is not actually shooting fire in the.
No. This is much more like
Yeah.
just arcade regular wrestling.
Right.
But it had a really good roster for the time. Like it had all like the main. I mean, look, at this point, do I want to play a game with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior in it? Not really. But for the time, those were the wrestlers you wanted. It had the Road Warriors, Demolition, Jake the Snake, all those guys. Like it was good for what it was. So this is billing itself as a direct sequel, but it does not have WWE licensing at all.
Mhm.
And it does not play exactly like WrestleFest, which I think is fair. WrestleFest was like a 2-button game. It was not particularly complicated. This is like a 4-button game with a couple of bumper uses as well, but they aren't main. It's similar. The grappling and attack system is a little bit similar to what Fire Pro does, but it is simplified.
Okay.
And it is a roster of wrestlers that is just a bunch of guys from the indies and a few classic wrestlers too.
Real people, like real wrestlers.
Real people.
Okay.
But they're not WWE licensed. It's
Right,
guys
yes,
that are
right.
like so
whatever Sandman's real name is.
well, no, so like Tommy Dreamer's in it. Like that's probably one of the bigger names. You
Why
remember him from
nobody owns
ECW.
Tommy Dreamer?
You know who ECW? You know Tommy Dreamer.
Of course. I'm saying nobody owns like his thing.
No, that's just his name.
Oh.
That's the name he goes by, and it is not owned by anyone else.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so like there's a few guys like that. It's mostly a lot of like younger indie wrestlers, guys that have been in like Impact and maybe had a cup of coffee in AEW at this point, stuff like that. And it's not bad, but like, so it's also very thin for what it is. It is not a very deep game. It has a few modes of play. There's a story mode, which is like fine. It's a goofy little spin on, like
wrestling.
It's wrestling.
It's called wrestling.
Yeah, it's decent. There's like a gauntlet mode where you can challenge for the title. There's a Royal Rumble, that kind of stuff. But that's kind of it. And it's only 16 wrestlers at launch, and they're adding a few via DLC, I guess. But the problem I have with it is that it's fun enough, but it's not so different from something like a Fire Pro to where it feels like it's really worth the money, especially considering Fire Pro has a gargantuan volume of content, and any one of those wrestlers, certainly not included on that roster, can be easily found in the Steam Workshop and downloaded. So if you want to run those matches between those wrestlers, someone has already made 17 versions of that wrestler, and you can find the one you like.
So with 16 wrestlers, is there even a Royal Rumble mode?
Yeah, but it's just 16 wrestlers.
Okay.
You could royally rumble with 16.
It's like
wrestlers.
32 is like one of the big ones, right?
All you need is
30.
a foursome. Oh, okay.
Now, foursome's a tag team match.
That's a tag team. I misspoke.
I mean, you can have 8 guys in the ring at a time, and then, eventually it'll run through all 16 wrestlers, and then you're kind of done. But I mean, WrestleFest was the same way. It had like that game had like 12, 14 wrestlers or something, and that was also a Royal Rumble. So,
all right. Well, but you got your Tommy Dreamer.
You got your Tommy Dreamer.
And you have another wrestling game in the mix, which is probably good for the genre.
Totally. Like people have been hurting for alternatives to the WWE games. I just think that there are more interesting alternatives out there. And if you don't like Fire Pro, I get it. You want something simplified, I get it. I think that the appeal of this one is somewhat limited.
Well, anything else?
that's kind of been it. I am still working my way through Persona 5 Strikers, but I've kind of taken a break on that one to play some other stuff. But I'm still enjoying it. Still fun.
So Retromania Wrestling also, I think, up on the site right now. You can go.
Yes, the quick look is up on the site now. It is out for PC right now. There are console versions, I guess, coming, but they have not been announced for a date yet.
Jeff Bakalar.
Hey.
Anything new in the world of Bakalar?
Yeah.
What is up?
I'm doing more Teardown. I really enjoy that game.
What are you up to?
I just stole a couple cars.
That one's hard.
That one. No,
Wait.
it's not.
Oh wait. Oh sorry. Are you at the docks?
Yeah, I'm still at the docks.
Oh, okay. You're not at the palatial like mansion yet.
No.
Okay.
There's weird rules in that game, but I get it. It's a game. It has to have weird rules or it wouldn't be interesting. No, but I'm really enjoying all that. So maybe I might be streaming that again. We'll see. I've been playing a good amount of Little Nightmares 2.
Oh, I keep meaning to jump on that.
How is it?
Yeah. I dig it.
Cool.
It's good.
I've heard it's actually a lot better than the first one.
I think it is. I think it is. I'm not done with it, but I've played a couple hours and yeah, I guess I was like, it definitely, I like it for a lot of the reasons I like the first one, because it basically scratched my play dead itch that needs scratching more than every 6 years. So I think that game, does that for me better than any other sort of, I want to call it a clone, because I think this game starting to stand enough on its own legs where, I mean, look, it is definitely heavily influenced by stuff like that. But I enjoy the separation that it's able to pull off. So, and it operates in a different capacity too. Where
and when you say play dead,
three-dimensionally,
you mean like Limbo or
and what was the other one?
Oh, globular mess.
Yeah, what the fuck? What?
Inside,
yeah.
outside, inside.
It's inside. Yeah, it was definitely inside, dude.
It's inside.
It was definitely inside.
I promise you, it's inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what's the Pixar
I'm
movie?
That. Inside Out. Up and Down.
Inside Nemo. Yep, that's the one. Yes. Okay. Play dead.
Anyway, that shit doesn't matter. So
No.
yeah. So
Inner Space.
Yeah, great flick. So anyway, I'm enjoying that, and I recommend people check that out. I did a Guns N' Roses pinball stream.
Oh,
It
nice.
was very
And you
exciting.
weren't arrested.
I was able to get bailed out of jail. It was a very seamless
Axel
experience.
came.
Axel came. No, Slash is the one bailing you out of that. I'm not sure Axel had much to do with
Welcome to your bail hearing. You're gonna die.
Dude, that game's good. That game is so good. And I had a really good couple of runs where I even did a couple things I'd never done before outside of streaming, which I was really jazzed to get captured during the stream. There's this mode where you basically play the game and then you earn the right to play a song. You play a song, and if you complete the song, you then have a very closed, very limited window opportunity to qualify for an encore.
Okay.
And I nailed it. I had only done that once before. Big time jackpots. That game is so freaking crazy. I love it. So
Nailed it.
Go back and check that out because that was really was a really good time.
Did you watch Nailed It? You didn't, did you? You didn't have a chance.
No. That was, you told me about that Sunday or something, dude.
Was it?
It's Thursday.
It's
yeah, but
yeah, I know how it is. You don't that time doesn't exist between the time between weekends doesn't exist for sitting down.
Right.
It goes Sunday night to midnight and then Friday at 6 p.m. That's
Gotcha.
what happens.
Okay.
My brother's always like, what do you mean you didn't catch up on WandaVision? And I was like, dude, it's only been 3 weeks. How am I supposed to watch one full episode of a 45-minute show in 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm about to follow all that up with I've had a lot of time to build mechanical keyboards, but I've had a lot of time to build mechanical keyboards.
How's your mechanical keyboards going?
So I started doing the soldering now. It's just fun. I added an OLED screen to a keyboard.
Ooh, what does it display?
So it just displays like the layer you're using.
Okay.
So you can use like
Yeah.
a combination to unlock another layer, and then it tells you like what you have locked. Basically like what the little LEDs would signify
Okay.
on a regular keyboard.
Caps lock, num lock.
It does it with like text within an OLED screen.
That's fine. And you soldered that in yourself?
I did all the soldering myself.
Was it
With
surface mounted or
My
did you?
vape pen soldering.
Yeah,
iron.
look at that little pencil, a little solder pencil. Is that charged via USB? What is that?
No, so it has it's powered by electricity.
A battery?
No, it's got a wire here. Like this wire does it.
Wow, look at that. That's great.
And then when you turn it on,
can you put it closer to the camera? Sorry, if you're listening to the audio version, Jeff is holding up one of the smallest soldering pencils I've ever seen. Wow, that is bananas.
And then it says like press a button to start. It gets all hot,
of course,
and then it melts the solder to a thing.
No.
Or it doesn't melt the solder.
It heats the component, and then the solder flows from the component.
That's
to the
not
joint.
how I solder. Maybe I solder wrong. Look, the keyboard.
Gah. Oh,
that's cool.
What kind of solder are you using? Did you end up using the lead-free solder, or did you end up using the lead?
No, you need lead. Lead's important.
Okay.
Yeah, look,
tell that to the EU.
Everybody needs lead. That's why they call it lead.
Solder. I got really worried about breathing in soldering like fumes and stuff.
Yeah, you don't want that.
You don't want to breathe that in, so I got like a fan that sucks it up into a weird like black sponge.
Little charcoal filter, yeah. Is it super loud?
It's louder than it probably should be.
Those fans are small.
Oh, is that loud shit?
It's loud.
So look. Well, no, everyone in the chat is freaking out about my soldering skills. I did good. I think I know what you mean. You heat up the component that's supposed to have the solder on it, and then when you touch the solder to the thing, it should just melt onto it.
It hits the tube things, and then the solder flows, and you get a nice shiny little solder joint. You don't want a cold solder joint. A shiny little solder joint. You'll get there. Hey, listen, if you're doing keyboards, you have probably soldered it more than I have at this point, because how many keys are on that goddamn thing?
This one I just did has 85 or 88.
How many solder points per key? 2, 3? 2. Yeah. So if you've done 180 or 160 some odd solder joint that's at this point, you're doing all right, man.
I think I did. I think I did pretty good. Yeah. So no, it's been really fun. Like there's all these weird PCBs in the keyboard scene where like this one supports OLED screens, and you're like, all right, that's great. Let me solder this OLED screen to the PCB, and it's like, then what the fuck do you do? And like all, I don't know.
Through hole? Does it have pins that go through the?
Yeah, so the pins go through the PCB holes, and then you solder it on the other side, and then you gotta like build firmware and flash the keyboard with it, and then like I had this eureka moment where I got the OLED screen to turn on, and then it was like, well, then what the fuck do you like? How do you program that?
That's right.
It's a mess, but it's been a really good hobby that I'm really getting to. I'm at the point now where like I've acquired and bought so many of these like keyboard kits.
Yeah.
I'm just like building them all and like seeing what I like, seeing what switches I like.
That's wild.
And the ones I don't like, I'll give away or I'll sell. And I'll do it that way. But I'm really enjoying.
How long did it take?
stuff.
Sorry, I stepped on you. How long did it take you to solder that keyboard? Was that one session? Did you do it in one?
Yeah, the soldering took maybe 20 minutes.
Whoa. Good for you. That pencil heats up then, huh? What does it get up to? What are you soldering at?
300 degrees Celsius.
What's that in Fahrenheit? Like
I don't fucking know. What do I look like? What do I look like? Wolfman Alpha?
Wolfman Alpha. You look like Wolfman Alpha.
What the hell do I look like?
Hey Siri, what is that in Fahrenheit? Okay, that's cool. Who makes your little soldering pencil? I like that thing.
I don't know. It's an Amazon no-name special.
Okay.
I have no idea. I couldn't even
It's
tell
Amazon Basics. It's they sold it for 5 cents. It comes in frustration-free packaging. Good for you. Soldering's fun. Solder more stuff.
It's 572 degrees Fahrenheit. That seems really hot.
No, I thought you'd go higher.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been super fun. I love all this stuff. I think I found a switch that I really like forever now. A Duroc T1 switch, if you're worried or concerned about which switch I like. Called a Duroc.
Only on the
Duroc.
Only on the floor model.
T1 T1 tactile switch.
What is it? Like what's it comparable to? Is it like a red, blue?
No, I'm way past that shit.
Oh
dude.
shit! You've
This
ascended.
is not even like this is not even on the spectrum there.
Oh
It's
man,
like,
this is like the childhood's end of fucking keyboard switches. Wow,
This is
you've
what it
just
looks like.
gone.
it's got a smoky taste housing.
You can see that what you're holding up there.
It's got a
Okay,
smoky housing with like a blue
boy.
stem.
that looks like a
And
piece
it's
that fell off
real-
one of my transformers. If I
it's
find that on the
really
floor in this
good.
room, I think one of my transformers fell off the shelf. Look at that thing.
It's really good. It's got a little bit of a factory lube on the stem there. So you don't have to relube. I didn't relube it. I like how it feels. I'm a tactile guy, so that's my situation right now.
What
But,
makes it good? What's the like? What is the wine taste comparison?
No, that's a good ask.
What are
Like
the notes?
a lot of people like browns because it's got that little bump. This has a more pronounced bump at the start of the key press, and I also like the sound of it. It has this really like
Click it into your mic.
hockey, like sort of. I don't know. You think it's gonna work if I do it? Hold
I
on.
better.
Right.
This is like okay.
Look at your chord on your keyboard. Okay, keep going.
It's cool as fuck. Right?
No,
That's a bungee cord.
keep going.
Hold on, I'm gonna open up Notepad here.
All right.
Okay, so this is what it sounds like. I really like the space bar sounds real nice. Like, yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
That sounds a little mushy to me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Sounds
That's
nice.
just stuff. Sorry.
You guys fucking love it.
I love it. What is that cord on your keyboard? Why is that so thick? Because it's so coiled up.
It's a coil. It's like a special coiled
Wow.
cable,
That's
and
bananas.
it's called an aviator cable because it's got this like aviator clip in the middle of it
Wow.
that you can like disconnect.
I don't know.
I'm into this.
That's
Hobby.
you're in so deep. It's great. Anyway,
I'm in
soldering's
so
fun.
deep that I've like lost understanding of regular keyboards.
You showed
now.
me
Like I built one for a friend. Like one of Stacy's friend was having a birthday or something, and we built her a keyboard for her birthday.
Oh
She
wow.
was super jazzed about the one I built for Stacy.
Oh really? Wait, you're sharing keyboards? What are we doing here?
No, I built a keyboard for somebody.
I know, but I'm saying like, are people coming over touching these keyboards? What are you doing? You got
No, Stacy showed someone. I made Stacy an Alice in Wonderland keyboard.
what?
Yeah. I made her a
What makes
keyboard
it
with
Alice in Wonderland?
Mostly the keycaps.
Okay.
The keycaps are all
Drugs.
Alice in Wonderland, and
Wow.
a lot of like Cheshire
Made of
cat
drugs.
smoke.
Yep.
And yeah, like that's
That's cool,
the world
man.
I'm living in right now. You know, it's a good
great.
time. It's a
That's
good time
great.
for this hobby, I think.
Do you have a solder sucker? Can I see your solder sucker?
I don't have a solder sucker. I realize like I
You make
probably
no
will need
mistakes.
that if
Should I
I wanna,
go?
like
Should I leave?
No, stick around.
no, a solder sucker, Alex, is like the way you remove solder from a soldered joint, right? Am I
So
yeah.
you can
You,
also
like,
wick it.
desolder
You can
something.
you can also, if you have that wick braided wick, but you don't make any mistakes.
No, I didn't make any mistakes the other day. Like one shot, everything was in it to win it. So the next thing I'm gonna build for myself is it's called a barley corn,
Okay.
and it's a completely through hole PCB,
okay.
meaning you have to solder all the diodes
Mm-hmm.
in it too. So look it up. It's this wild aesthetic to it. It's got like a clear sort of like top row where like you can see all the soldering.
Okay.
It's like a plexiglass cover that sits on top of it. I'm really excited about it because it just looks super cool.
So it'll come with
So-
like it'll come with like a dime bag worth of like components and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, I already got it in the mail. It's like very, very. It seems like way more work.
Hey, watch your
than they
diodes.
used to have.
They go one way.
Well, I'm a diode. I have to bend all the diodes too
Yeah.
because you
gotta
put
bend
them through the hole
That's
and then
right.
you got to bend them so that they.
That's right.
fit
Get
through the
yourself,
hole.
get
Are you
yourself
saying-
a good wire snip.
Are you
Look,
saying you
this
have
is what
yourself
happens, you know,
a
when you're
dime bag
bored.
diode?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's-
Jesus. So I'm trying to think what else I've been doing.
No, I want to talk more about
Just-
your soldering and stuff. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, like someone asked in the chat how much does it cost. This kit here is like 200 for everything.
Okay.
Um,
And the caps
probably-
and the actual
caps
key
I had the caps I had laying around.
Okay.
You know, you can probably get away with spending under $200 on a fully custom kit. You're gonna be getting like the best stuff,
Oh, I want the good
but
stuff. All right.
but yeah. So that's my soldering situation right now. Look, like I said, the pinball stuff, the pinball repair stuff
Yeah.
was such an easy sort of pivot into this world because I had been soldering a bunch of shit together on all the pinball stuff. So now, yeah, I mean, I find some zen in the whole thing. I do. I find it very relaxing. I find it very peaceful.
Yeah.
There is,
and you're making stuff.
You're making stuff, a lot of people don't get, this scene is so much bigger than I really thought it was until I really started to dig deeper. And it is so massive. And there's so many companies and creators and streamers and just cool, creative people. It's a lot of fun to.
And now you're a part of this world.
Yeah. I'd like to consider that I'm trying to break into it. Yeah.
Here's my overboard recommendation to you that is bad recommendation. If you ever
maybe I don't want to hear it then.
If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're doing more than like 3 or 4 desoldering things, when you're like, oh, because desoldering sucks.
I'd never want to do it. I'd rather throw it away.
Buy yourself, invest the money. They're not that cheap in a desoldering gun. That is,
I know. I've heard of those.
Oh, that's the bee's knees. You just zip, zip, zip. Those through hole things just pop right out. And then if you're doing if you're doing surface mount stuff, invest in a hot air station. Won't regret it. Just blows hot air right on that solder. Surface mount stuff.
I think like that's like level 8,000. I'm maybe only at level like 7.
Nah, it's like level 2. But you'll get there. You're gonna get there.
I mean,
you're gonna be putting keyboards in a toaster oven to fucking melt them on the little pads soon.
I had a fried hard drive, and I was like, wait a minute, I got a soldering iron and minimal knowledge.
No. What? Okay, sure. Did you fix it?
And I got it to spin again. It wasn't spinning. I got it to spin again. Didn't get it to read anything, but I got it to spin again.
Okay. All right.
That's the first step.
First step is spinning. Everyone knows that.
I feel like once it was a platter drive. So I feel like once you crack open that case on a platter drive, if you're not in a clean room, that thing is done. Like those.
No, that's wrong.
You're saying you're not dropping a skin on that thing, and those shiny little platters are.
No. You don't. When you open a drive, when you repair a drive, the PCB.
Oh, on the back
interfaces with the PCB that interfaces with the motherboard.
Yes,
it's separate from the pallet.
Yes.
You don't touch the pallet.
Okay, so you weren't in there with the arm.
I wasn't like I wasn't like manually spinning around like a flake pallet and being like, I wonder where the error on the disc is.
You put on your little monocle and you're looking at that platter, being like, there it is. Okay, so you didn't touch the arm or anything.
I didn't have like an electron microscope like looking at this. No.
What are you soldering on? Was it the Molex connector? Like, what are you soldering?
No, the PCB.
Yes, but what are you soldering on that PCB?
I took off one of the because I think it was like over. I think it got fried with too much electricity. So what happens is, the way I understand it is, there are basically like thresholds in line in the PCB that account. So it'll be like, okay, well, I'll fry so the rest of the hard drive doesn't have to die.
Like a fuse.
Right. The fuse popped and I was going to replace the fuse part.
But they're surface mounted on that thing, right? They're like a millimeter big.
Yeah. So you like can cook it up and take it off with like pliers. I took it off. And then by bypassing it, that's how I got it to spin.
Oh, but you didn't buy a new one.
No. I was playing it fast and loose, baby.
Okay. You just kind of jumped it.
Because the stuff on the drive was just like,
okay, good for you. Okay, so you jumped it. Jump drive. All right, we got it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Silver linings in the quarantine. Okay.
You hacked it.
I'm sorry, Alex. I wish I could relate to something.
No, listen. Hey, Alex. When 2037 comes around and your Rock Band controller finally dies, you're gonna go to Jeff Backlund and be like, they don't exist. You have to fix this thing. And he's going to be happy.
Adapter costs $8,000 on eBay right now. I cannot buy another one.
That's right.
And I will somehow make the lights turn back on, but it won't work.
Look, that's the first step. That's the first step.
That's right. All right.
Oh,
anything else, Bacalar?
No.
All right.
We have stuff for news, but not right now.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get our barley corns out of here for just a little bit. We're gonna take a quick break. Gonna run this ad. And we'll be back in just a little bit. Let me play the music here. So stick around, folks. The Giant Beastcast will return. This week's show is brought to you by Fabletics. Jeff and Alex.
Hey there.
Yes, Benny.
Fabletics, as much fun to wear as it is to say. Fabletics.
It is fun to say.
It is fun to say. They make that gear for looking fabulous while you're being athletic. I'm assuming the portmanteau is fabulous and athletic.
Oh. Fabletics. I get it.
You got it.
I just want everyone to know, I know I said this on the last ad, but you do not have to be working out to wear this stuff. In fact, the majority of the time that I am wearing Fabletics, I am being lazy on the couch and I am as comfortable as I can be. Again, let's stress this. I feel like Fabletics is overlooking this, and I just want to address it here on our ad right now.
You can go to fabletics.com/Beastcast to access a great deal. Get your first 2 pairs of shorts for just $24 when you become a Fabletics Men VIP member at checkout. That's all the styles, all the colors, no exclusions. And why should you become a Fabletics Men VIP member? Well, let's just look at what they've written here. To get the best activewear at the best prices, you'll get at least 20 to 50% off retail prices every time you shop. You get free shipping on all orders over $49 and free returns and exchanges within 45 days.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting. Each month, VIP members can choose to be billed $49.95 for a member credit. Members can then use that credit towards any item or kit up to $80. So you spend $49.95, get that credit, and then you can use it to get something that costs $80. That credit will expire, though, after 12 months, or you can choose to skip the month and pay nothing. There's no limit on how many times you could skip. Get free access with your VIP membership to their new workout app or on-demand workouts led by top trainers. That's Fabletics, VIP member. Thanks, Fabletics. And we are back, and it's time for the news. Hello, Alex. Hello, Jeff.
Duty.
Dirty.
I have been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately. There's
How
a
is
new
that different
map.
than usual?
How's it? Well, because there's a new map.
Okay.
I think it's called Apocalypse. It's like an Indiana Jones map.
What does that mean?
Feels
what
like it.
What does that mean in Indiana Jones?
Yeah, that
map?
actually sounds pretty stupid when you say it.
What
out
does that
loud.
mean? Is it like an airplane that you can like push a guy into a propeller?
No, but there's
Is it a Zeppelin?
It looks like, sort of like ruins, and then I don't know, like jungly ruins. Like I don't know why. I just get an Indiana Jones sort of like vibe from it. I don't know. We call it the Indiana Jones map. Everyone knows what I mean.
Yeah. No, that's all that really matters
in Call of Duty. So look, it's fine. It's fun. Anyway, so someone's in the chat says it's a Vietnam jungle map. So
just like that Indiana Jones game that was. Yeah, I remember that one.
Could be the wrong conflict. Anyway,
nailing it.
Let's do the news.
Hey, here's the news. Do you guys get your email, your class action Epic Games?
No, apparently.
No, it could just be you, man.
No, okay. Well then, guess you won't get your V-Bucks then, or your Rocket League cash, or I guess your $50. I didn't actually pull this into the news. I was just asking during the break if anybody else got this email because I just saw it. So I didn't have time to go over all of it, but I did. I got an email that says, the Clash of Actions.
Clash of Actions.
So let me read this that I just pulled up. The Epic Games class action lawsuit accused Epic Games of violating consumer protection laws, negligently misrepresenting in-games items' values in Fortnite and Rocket League, and preventing minors from exercising contractual disaffirmation rights.
What?
Loot llama, motherfucker. Got that?
Is this a Bitcoin thing?
Do I have to have played either of those games on Epic? Because if that's so, then
yes. Any point between July 1st, 2015 and the date of the preliminary approval, if you had a Fortnite or Rocket League account and you used to play either game on any device in any mode and exchanged in-game virtual currency for an in-game benefit, or you purchased virtual currency or any other in-game benefit for use within Fortnite or Rocket League, you may be valid. You may be can get $50 or 1,000 Fortnite V-Bucks, or some Rocket League credits.
I think I've played Fortnite like twice, and it wasn't so I don't think I qualify for this.
I've definitely not exchanged any V-Bucks. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's sure as shit the truth.
It says, in addition to those credits, players who believe they were harmed by their in-game Fortnite or Rocket League purchases and meet certain criteria may also file a claim up to $50 in cash or 13,500 Fortnite V-Bucks or Rocket League credits. Consumer fraud, breach of contract, other damages according to the
wait a minute.
settlement
So
website.
it's Rocket League 2.
Rocket League as well, yes.
Well, I don't think I've spent any money with Rocket League since it was acquired.
Yeah, I don't think I qualify.
Qualify? Is that what you said?
I don't think I could qualify for it. Yeah. So there you go. I don't know. Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat get their emails?
Yeah. Is this anyone?
Anyone? Is this,
hear about this?
This is happening.
You guys heard about this?
You guys hear about this? This V-Bucks? This Loot Llama? What's the
deal with that?
What's the deal with Loot Llamas and make big duties in the?
Anybody? Big llama making a duty?
Big
anyone?
Am I the only one here who bought this Fortnite thing? Am I on the receiving end of a scam? I gave my social security number.
Is that bad? Should I not have done that?
Should I not have done this for it? Okay, Alex, let's get off this bit. Let's get on to something else.
Yeah, let's get into some really important news. The most important news happened this week, and everyone needs to know about it.
What's up?
Blaseball is back.
Oh, the season started again?
Yes, there was a long siesta, but they are back as of this week. There is a new season going right now. And just in case you were wondering if things were still going to be weird, there is now a sentient news ticker on the website.
Okay.
And today, in the middle of the season, we are going to be at the playoffs, I believe, tomorrow. 4 new teams just decided to join the league.
They were
portal
allowed
opens,
to.
And so now the Atlantis Georgias, the Core Mechanics, the Ohio Worms, and the returning Baltimore Crabs, who I believe at some point ascended to a celestial plane, and we're playing Blaseball there and are now back.
I still don't exactly understand how Blaseball works, but that's maybe for the best.
Fair.
Don't explain it to me.
No, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
No, if you really want to know, there are places to find out. But
it's very easy to research that.
Yeah.
I feel like I was able to understand it relatively quickly.
Okay, yeah. I have not done my homework, but I prefer it that way. I like the magic and the mystery of just thinking this just spawns out of some computer buried in the ground somewhere, and it just kind of like
that's what it is. Blaseball was created by a server that was left on
too long. It's an old
and a nuclear reactor.
It's an old Dark Age of Camelot server that just went too long. This is what happened. Hey, what's going on? If I can pause here for a second, Alex, during this news story, so you can. It's time to play Catch Old Man Vinny up on current internet memes. What is the thing where people are taking still photos and mapping them onto that like moving head thing?
That's
it's just another one of those apps
Yeah.
that's stealing your face data.
Well, what people are doing, I think it's an Israeli like ancestry company.
All right.
And it is a company based in Israel.
Okay.
That feels like one of those like DNA ancestry,
Like a
companies.
23andMe kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have an app where I don't know if this is what the app is supposed to do, but what it is doing, what people are doing with it is they're taking photos of like
And
old
portraits.
deceased relatives.
Yes.
And the app is like reanimating them.
Oh, that's what. Okay, so it's like, look, your pop is he's winking at you.
And they all do this similar sort of like algorithmic, glance to the side, like wink sort of thing. And it's fucking weird, man.
I'm gonna say right now, shout out to anyone who can enjoy those things and doesn't just find them like skin crawlingly uncanny, because that's how I feel.
Somebody did Warren, the Warren from that fighting game, and it's no good, man. That's no good.
There is some like real dark internet. Like
somebody did that police sketch of Jeff, and that was no good.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I found out about it, I think, from like a Jake Tapper tweet or something. And he was
that's
like,
not a good place to find out
look,
anything.
I reanimated my grandfather who's been dead for 30 years. And I'm just like, Jeff, what the fuck am I looking at? And then it got me thinking like, all my deceased grandparents. Like, I don't want to do that.
No. Okay, sorry to
I'm sure this will be the norm in 20 years.
If you haven't seen it, good for you. You'll live longer. Alex, congratulations to Blazeball on your behalf. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
How's the commissioner doing?
Yeah, are you a chairman?
Great job.
Okay.
Are you a chairman at this point or no?
No, I am nowhere near as in deep with this as a lot of other people are. I don't read the Discords. I'm not into any of that. I catch it as it comes, and then I read the recaps where they pop up, and that is about it.
Let me tell you something. I was in that Discord for about 3 months, and after a while,
a lot of people in there, man.
I was just like, I gotta like Homer Simpson shrub out of here, just for a second.
Oh, somebody needs to take too much. Somebody should take that Homer Simpson gif and then mash it with that thing. No. So he's Homer's looking.
I don't think. You could do like a still frame, but it doesn't work on motion. Because what's the point?
Okay, speaking of old man Vinny reads the internet.
You're not that old, but go on.
Okay,
we're not that old.
Older than you are. Older than you are. Older than you are.
You are.
Older than you are.
I'm the baby of the show, so what can I say?
That Tom Cruise stuff was weird, huh? Tom Cruise TikTok. Yo.
The deep fake stuff?
Yeah.
I have been pounding my fist on the desk for at least 3 months about deep fakes.
You were tip of the spear on deep fakes.
No, I did a video like a year and a half ago. I did a video like a year and a half ago about it, and that has caused the Tom Cruise thing has caused it to like explode a little bit.
Oh,
that's the thing. It's like it's just getting exponentially better with every passing year.
But that yes, exactly right. Like
I am so glad I invested in your non-fungible video because that thing's going up.
Here's the thing though, right? Like 2 years ago, everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna be a fucking problem real fast."
Yeah.
At least we like knew, right? Like at least we were just like, okay.
We did nothing to stop it, but yes.
But part of the paradox when I first like did that video was like, oh, we're never gonna be able to get out in front of this. Just because it's like a whack-a-mole, wild goose chase. Like you're just never gonna get out in front of it.
The Tom Cruise ones that went up, they went up on TikTok, right? There's like at least 3 of them. Those ones were. That was me looking at it and be like, "No, we're done." No, we're through the looking glass on this. It's over. They won already. It has won. Like it's if it is
the NFT conversation.
if it is only going to get more complicated than this, we're done. We're done.
No, it's like you said earlier. It felt like it bubbled up out of some dark corner of the internet. Guess what? It's all the dark internet now. There is no other internet but the dark internet. It's all horrible.
Yeah. All right.
Except for Blazeball.
That's the only place. This is all happening out of Blazeball. Is the only thing I consume. Okay.
It's the only good thing left.
Alex, what else?
Well, there's a few things here. Jeff, I know this story is going to make you mad because you don't think it's a big deal, and you're probably right, but we're going to talk about it anyway, briefly. There's some details floating around about what might be in the Nintendo Switch Pro, which Nintendo has still not announced or acknowledged in any meaningful way. But a bunch of people behind the scenes sure seem to think is going to happen this year. They talked a little bit, I guess, about the screens that the new Pro will potentially have, and I guess they are Samsung OLED screens.
Do we know who's talking here? Look who's talking.
People,
okay,
guys, stuff. Bloomberg had the original report.
Not Nintendo though.
No, Nintendo ain't saying shit.
Okay. And they never do.
Yeah, so again, take all this with a grain of salt, but it's floating out there, and people seem to think there's some merit to it. But
if anything, it's the only difference here is like they've been sort of adamantly denying it.
Yeah.
Wait, Nintendo?
And now
they're
they're a
sort of
little
like,
less
they're
adamant
like-
about it, but
Yeah, they're like, nah.
But this
there's
is
nothing.
not like we're not getting pictures. Sorry, I have not had a chance to look at this. There have not been pictures of like a dev kit in the wild or anything like that.
No, this is people who are sourcing components and then sourcing where those components are going.
Oh,
think.
okay.
And,
Okay.
But so the idea is that the new one will have this Samsung OLED screen. It will still display in 720p. It sounds like in portable mode. But for a portable screen that's that size, I don't think that's really a huge deal.
No, and an OLED screen's going to look real nice.
It's going to look real nice, and apparently it's less of a battery drain than the ones that the liquid crystal displays they are using now. The other thing is that when docked, the Switch Pro will potentially put out, it sounds like 4K resolution for stuff that supports it. Yeah, that's a for me too. I'm not saying it might be an upscale. We'll see.
Will it finally run Breath of the Wild all right?
That I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
You know what, man? I just So, does the story talk anything about like hardware acceleration or improvement?
Not really. They just talk about the outputting at 4K, but there is not really anything in there about what might be used to potentially make other games run better that did not before.
I mean, the lesson that everyone in the world should have learned all this time about Nintendo is like, all right, like they're just not going to be, cutting edge in terms of fidelity, but like. Turns out that's fine. But,
it is, but also 4K isn't really that cutting edge anymore. Like it's been around for a while, and there's a lot more adoption of it.
In 2021, Switch should be a prerequisite.
At the very least, it should do like what the PS4 Pro did. Like I feel like that is probably like the bare minimum of like what a new version of that system should be able to put out.
I mean, it is still a handheld console.
It is, yes. I'm just saying that like if they are trying to stay within some kind of range of what the other ones are doing.
Yeah, Vinny, the console's in your hand. It's the thing.
Yeah, the console is the thing. That's true. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Console's like
so you're saying you're saying it's a docked handheld, not a portable console.
Yeah,
or not a portable. Yeah,
it's a hybrid console. Please,
it's not really. It's a dockable.
That's what they call it, the
handheld.
Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
fair enough.
I don't think the power you get out of a PS4 Pro is exactly about it. Well, anyway, like I said, it's this mobile thing. It's like this hybrid thing.
Yes, you're right. Yes, it needs
switches.
In that sense. In
pandemic land, I don't care that it's mobile.
Well, but it still needs to be designed to use a battery. Right, and clock.
And again, I'm saying all of this not in like it has to do this to compete, but in if you are telling people they need to buy a new version of this hardware, there has to be an appreciable step up from what the other one was doing. Of course. And I think that if they're talking about actual 4K, then that's a pretty big step.
Yes,
from where it was at.
I mean, listen, if you're upscaling your whatever the game is putting out to 4K, that native 4K and upscale 4K.
Yeah.
Two very different things.
They are very different things. But I think even an upscale version would be a significant difference from what that thing currently does.
Yep. Just build just put like the upscaler in the dock and nobody will ever know. It's like the Switch itself is like doesn't have room for it. Just when you plug that baby in, it's just a scan converter in the dock and it just scales it up to 4K.
Just hit the 4K button and baby, you're living free.
What is it?
Living good.
The DLSS, right? That's the weird magic. All right, what else?
It is the weird magic.
That is the weird magic.
Shit's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing officially announced yet, but people are talking, so we'll see.
Right.
There's a new Aliens game coming out, Aliens Fire Team.
All right.
Okay.
It is a game where you are presumably colonial marines and a whole bunch of aliens are coming at you. So if that's the kind of thing you want to do, you'll have that, I guess.
Are there different Marines?
Like the non-colonial Marines?
Yeah, are the colonial Marine? I haven't dug that too deep into the aliens lore, but just you saying it at this point outside of the game, like the name Colonial Marines or something, are the colonial Marines the ones that are going out to the colonies to check and they're always dying because the aliens have always eaten the colony, and there are other Marines we assume that are just fighting humans?
Okay. Here's what I know.
Are there other Marines?
This is my limited remembering of the deep lore of the Wayland Yutani verse.
Okay.
Nice.
the Marines that are sent to LV whatever the fuck
Uh-huh.
in Aliens are the Space Marines that go around and solve the problems on colonial planets.
Okay.
And they talk about that a little bit at the beginning, like some of the other missions they've gone on. Is this another bug hunt? You know, that kind of thing. Like they're very used to going to these planets and taking care of whatever alien threat is going on wherever that is, until they meet the aliens, and then it all goes sideways.
Yeah.
Now, is there a different set of Marines that don't do this, that are just earthbound and they do the regular Marine things, and they still air the TV commercials with the fucking, you know, the chess piece people and whatnot?
They have a sword.
I don't know, because I actually don't remember what like the national politics are of that universe. Everything is so wrapped up in the Space Corps in those movies that I don't really remember like what is the state of nation states in that universe, like what militaries exist, and I don't really know.
So are the colonial? Okay, I'm gonna dig. I know you are. You are just skimming the surface. Are the Marines in Alien and Aliens? Oh, I guess Aliens.
But they're only in Aliens.
Yeah, in Aliens.
I think to a limited degree, Alien 3.
Are they Weyland-Yutani Marines?
So they talk about the Corps like it is a military unit, not a corporate license thing. But at the same time, they are sent in there ostensibly by Weyland-Yutani.
They are protecting the interests of Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah,
right?
But how much look, America at this point is 4 corporations in a trench coat. I get that. And maybe this is just the logical extension of that. Like Weyland-Yutani is the US government. So the intertwining of those things is there's no appreciable difference.
Okay.
I don't actually know. I have not done the reading on this to know 100%.
Okay, here's what I think. I think if you just said for the Marines, it would probably look weird. When you say colonial Marines, you know exactly who you're talking about, right? We're talking the Aliens universe, right? It's like if they said Space Marine, I would know they're talking 40K. You say Colonial Marine, I know we're talking Aliens universe. That's probably all that needs to be said. What is this game?
And if you say Marina Sirtis, you're talking about Troy from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Very good.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. This is a new game. It's from a studio called Cold Iron Studios. I don't really know them very well, but I think this thing had been rumored for a little while. But yeah, it's a multiplayer shooter where you shoot aliens. And it seems... Look, there's a very low bar to clear with that stuff. If anyone remembers Alien Colonial Marine. So as long as it's fun, if it's just like a good horde mode game, I'm fine with that. I would love it if they did something like an isolation follow-up at some point. But, you know, this is what they're doing now. So there you go. Also, apparently the other 3 movies, like the original Alien got a 4K remaster. It sounds like the other 3 movies are getting a 4K remaster soon. So that stuff will be available in 4K soon.
So this is a class-based co-op thing.
I believe so, yes.
That's cool. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah. Shoot some aliens. Ask it for blood.
Hey, you gotta get a couple of things right. You gotta make the aliens look good, and you gotta have the right sounds for that pulse rifle thing. And you gotta have the right sound when the tracker tracks, right? That's it.
But you have to do both because Colonial Marines only got the sound right and the other part not so much, and that's where it started to fall apart. So
would you this is a deeper conversation, so please I'll take all your bets here. Alien horror movie. Aliens action horror movie, right? That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair to say, right? That's not. So what would you rather have here? Like Alien Isolation or the kind of actiony? Like, you think you split the difference here, or you think you just go pure action?
I think for this you go pure action.
Pure action, just tons of aliens pouring in, and like you're escaping, not like wandering around silently for a while until.
If you can find a way to capture the actual tension of those movies in a shooter like that, that's great. But I don't think you can, because the whole point of Aliens is that it's man's hubris and the best weapons it has to offer getting thrown into the thresher maw and fucking chewed up by this thing that they don't know what to do with. And you can't do that in a video game unless your whole point is that you can't win it. That's just not isolation was the way that you go about dealing with that omnipresent threat, because it's a person being like, oh, I can't fucking do this on my own. I just have to hide from this shit.
What if you take enough damage, there's a chance that you have a chest burster inside of you and your whole team will wipe?
So add a little bit of like an Among Us thing of like there's a threat on the team.
You got to take him out. I'm fine. Take him out. And then Paul Reiser, you just see him, but he's behind a piece of glass every once in a while. All right, what else?
I would settle for Paul Reiser or the guy from Alien Resurrection who was like the space tourist that got fucking captured and an chest burster got put in his chest.
I don't know if I saw Alien Resurrection.
It's not a good movie at all, but it is an incredibly visually striking movie, and it has some really fun, goofy characters in it. It is just not a good movie, but watchable.
Give me a character in this that is like Paul Reiser's son, who is just trying to get redemption, join the Colonial Marines, trying to get redemption, just like everybody gives him a hard time, but looks exactly like Paul Reiser, but buff. Like when
Reiser to Hell Redemption.
Okay, what's the next story?
The next, we got a couple more here. So do you guys remember a few months ago, we talked about that game, The Sinking City, and the problems that Frogwares, the developer, was having with their publisher, Nacon? So Nacon published, I guess, just the PC versions of that game, but the at least some of the console versions were done entirely by Frogwares as far as like publishing rights go. So there's a whole conflict between them and Nacon. The game got pulled, then republished, and then pulled. And so at some point, that game showed up on Steam in the last couple of weeks with Nacon's name on it. And so Frogwares, there's still ongoing litigation with them. And so Frogwares went to the trouble of filing a DMCA takedown with Steam for their own game to get it off Steam during these proceedings, which have still not been settled yet.
Okay.
And so what they are saying is that in order to get that game up on Steam, Nacon had to go into the code of the game and rework some stuff that they were not allowed to do in order to make that publishable. And so that is what they are alleging, is that they actually went in and tampered with the game and the code in order to make the Steam version go. And I think that has something to do with the DLC that they've released, which originally came out on consoles, but not on PC. And that DLC was in the Steam version that went out.
Okay.
I know. This is really complicated. Okay, so they're getting much more complicated.
So they're alleging that they went into the code, which they weren't allowed to do, to manipulate something to publish it, and without being able to do that, their reasoning is they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing unless they did that. That's their claim.
And Nacon, for their part, does not sound like they are denying that, but they are saying they have the contractual right to
monkey around in the code.
Yes. Okay. And so, look, everything about this just screams you signed the worst deal possible with this publisher. And I don't blame them for that. Like, it's like people sign bad deals all the time and realize, fuck, what have I done? But this whole thing sounds like an astronomical clusterfuck in the grand scheme of video game publishing rights. And I just can't think of too many things I've ever seen that were quite like this, and the level of animosity between the two parties.
Where if you want to buy this game and play it, you can get it from them directly.
So Frogwares, again, I believe they publish the console versions themselves, or at least some of the console versions. So wherever it's still up in a marketplace, presumably you are buying the version that it is not related to Nacon, and it's just the game that Frogwares made. But like there was a time when it was off some of the marketplaces, and then it came back. And there's like it's been this ongoing bizarre saga, and like I still don't fully understand every detail of it, but it sounds like the litigation is still ongoing, and they are awaiting some decisions from that will ultimately, be the end result of that thing. Yeah. Also, for a game that is not, I don't know, I don't mean to say this to insult Frogwares, who I've made some very enjoyable Sherlock Holmes games in the past. This is not a good game that we are arguing over, and I understand that they have both these companies have financial investment in this thing, and they are trying to figure out what level of investment they are legally allowed to still have, but it's all over a game that is not really that interesting outside the context of all this bullshit.
Fun times.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Yeah, we got one more thing here.
Okay.
Epic.
Yeah.
They buy stuff sometimes.
Seems like all the time.
They have a class action lawsuit that I just got an email about.
Well, get ready for in 5 years from now when the Fall Guys class action lawsuit comes out, because the Fortnite devs, the folks at Epic, have gone out and they have bought Mediatonic.
Those are the Fall Guys folks?
Yes. Specifically, they bought the Tonic Games Group, which is a entity that owns Mediatonic, who are the developers. But they also own a couple of other things. I believe the Irregular Corporation, who published things like PC Building Simulator and Touch Type Tale, and a UK studio called Fortitude Games, which I don't believe has made anything yet. So it's it's an umbrella of a few different devs, but they are now all owned by Epic.
Okay.
So the short of that, Fall Guys is now owned by Epic. Fall Guys will be in Fortnite.
Undoubtedly. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is that they are saying that nothing is really changing as far as like the ongoing development of Fall Guys goes. They are just going to keep doing that thing, and I assume at some point make another one of those. But as of right now, they are still producing content for that game, and they plan to continue doing so.
I wonder how Fall Guys is going currently.
Apparently, it's still very popular.
Really?
It is still one of the top Twitch streaming games.
Is it really?
Yeah, and it seems like it has like a strong player base still.
So remember, if you're listening to this, that Fall Guys is the answer to your email about what game do you feel like you just aren't getting, even though you tried it a couple of times and everybody else seemed to like it.
I got Fall Guys.
Did you?
I got it. Oh yeah. What's there not to get?
I don't know, because I don't think it's very good.
Oh, you're just saying you don't like the game, so why does everyone like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't think it's groundbreaking, but I think it's fun. I understand the fun. I understand why people like watching it. I understand the spectatorship qualities of it.
Okay.
Speaking of games people stream, have you guys heard of the GTA role playing stuff?
You mentioned it to me, and it sounded familiar. I want to say
pixel stuff.
I want to say we dabbled around in GTA role playing stuff at Giant Bomb.
You guys did like the heist crew or whatever the fuck.
Well, we were clearly role playing. We were
clearly innovators.
Yeah.
But there's something very intriguing about that. I want to do that.
You want to role play in GTA? You want to do the duty bit? Yeah.
I want to no. Well, I want to look. I want to bring the duty bit to GTA, but I also I want to do it. One of the streamers I watch is obsessed with it and does it all the time. I don't necessarily watch him do it, but I know that it seems like it definitely seems like more fun to do than to watch. That's for sure. For me personally.
Finally, the backlog gets his way into the crime crew. This is it. This is
not my ass backwards Inception inserted into. But isn't it it's like an invite only thing, right? Like you got to be a special person, right?
What if you were on? What if you're on your weird audio only chat room thing? What is that thing called?
What?
What's the invite chat room?
Clubhouse.
Yeah, wait, is it a Clubhouse? Talk to me. I'll watch your Clubhouse on.
No, you can't watch a Clubhouse. You can only hear a Clubhouse, dumbass.
Okay, well, put the little animated face on a Clubhouse so I can watch it.
I think it. Yeah, we should. Do you know what Clubhouse is? Yeah, Alex.
Yes, I know what Clubhouse is, and I want a part of it.
That goes without saying.
I accepted your invite to Clubhouse, but I have not done anything else. Backlar sent me an invite. You're very cool. You invited me to Clubhouse.
I'm super fucking cool. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Fucking wow.
When you saw that, you were probably like, "Oh God, how is he so cool?"
Well, no, actually, the thing that occurred to me was I don't know if I did this for the right reason. I was like, oh, what if somebody else steals my name and does a Clubhouse? That's probably bad. I should.
Yeah, you just gotta squat on your own name. I should just
squat on my name and then never open this again. The icon for it, does that I don't know. Okay, let's not talk about Clubhouse. I don't know.
Stop worrying so much about that and just look, I think we could do a fun thing anywhere. I think we could do a fun thing with the GTRP stuff. I think we could do a fun thing with Clubhouse.
Wow.
I think we could do that.
Okay. What else?
But if we somehow got an invite for it, would you guys be down to do the GTA thing?
To do the GTA thing? Yes. To do Clubhouse? No.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not worried about Clubhouse.
I do that. I'm role playing all day, man. So
okay, that's not an answer, but sure. Okay, I'll take that as a yes.
Can I role play specifically as Val Kilmer in Heat.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. You could bring back your fucking your Austin RPG character. You can do whatever you want.
No,
Maybe
Hard doesn't commit crimes anymore. Hard has moved on to
Hard's gone soft.
Well,
And-
no, Hard's he's out there helping post-apocalyptic wasteland people solve their Merc problems and what have you. He's not really out here to commit crimes.
So let's do that. Let's get there. I don't know how to do it. Maybe someone listening knows how to do it, and they can.
How many
send us in the right direction?
Shark bucks do I need?
I don't know. Is it like I don't know how you get invited. I don't even really understand how it all works.
Oh, you know what? No, actually, I want to
to
role play. I want to role play as a bumbling police detective, like a fucking earnest.
You want to be
like
shitty cops?
Leslie Nielsen level fucking pratfall heavy police detective that only accidentally solves crimes. I want to be Sledgehammer.
I like the idea, instead of just being crime people, I like the idea of being like the shittiest cops ever.
Yeah, I don't want to be a good cop. I want to be a completely inept cop.
Just like, oh, there's a cat in a tree, we just drive into the tree. It's like that kind of thing. Like, just insane. Yeah, let's be the worst possible cops ever.
See, that's where the limitations of GTA Online really come in, because you cannot have a naked gun scenario in GTA Online. You can't drive a tank into a house. That's not a thing they let you do.
Yeah, but you could, but I still feel like you could cause the right amount of destruction and idiocy, a la Naked Gun, as you've described. I think we could do it. I think we could be those idiots.
We'll do one episode, and I want it to be my day before retirement. That's it. We do one episode, and it's my retirement day. I'm getting too old for this shit, and then we see if we make it through.
Day.
Yeah, it's perpetually that day. That's the role playing server I want. It's every cop's last day for retirement, and it's every gangster's last crime. That every day you boot up,
that puts me into retirement.
Every day you boot up that server, it is that day. Every criminal is like, my last score, and every person who is trying to counteract that is every store owner is its last day before their retirement. Every cop is last day before retirement. Every criminal is my last big score, and that is it. The server is up for 12 hours, comes back down, and once a year it goes up for your last. Last score.
I've got an idea here.
Okay.
I'm going to extrapolate on this. I'm going to build on this idea that you have here.
This is good.
Okay. This is a game. This is not this server. This is a whole new game.
Okay, whole new game.
One last job is the name of it, and it's the thing you just kind of described. It is AI procedurally generated one last heists that you and your team are assigned to perform, and on the other side of it, a buddy cop last day before retirement scenario with different archetypes of buddy cops and backstories, and like those two things intersecting, again, all procedurally generated. So it is an endless string of just completely hackneyed scenarios. And then the two teams, they come together. One has to stop the job. One has to pull it off.
I love
whoever pulls it off wins.
Whoever gets the retirement. Whoever gets
either you get to retirement or you get to your out,
and then you switch sides. So, okay.
Yeah, halftime you switch sides.
I'm gonna iterate on that.
This is how that works.
Take the human out of it, and now do that for like Salty Bet, where it's just AI running those scenarios to see if the cop gets to retirement or if the criminal wins, and it's just running it over and over in a loop again. So we finally have the purest data of, if you say it's your last day, it's not gonna go well,
and you can bet on it.
And you can bet on it. You can bet it if he gets retirement or not.
I love it.
With a bad back. What's the injury?
Who can do it? Who can make this?
That's right. Who can make it?
Someone out there.
Someone out there make this.
We've set it on here, so it's copyright. All of us.
Yeah.
TM. We got it. All right. Is that the end of the news?
Arthur, we're going to talk about the thing.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up. Oh, let me adjust my butt pillow. Here we go.
You have a butt pillow?
I have on my tailbone.
Right. Your coccyx pillow.
My coccyx pillow. All right. Last week, we didn't have time to dig into the meat on the bone
And what happened in between last week and this week?
And somehow Bacalar, finger on the pulse of the nation, foresaw a coming storm of NFT news coming down.
Oh God!
Here we go. Put on your visors.
Like if you are Alex stands on
yeah,
the side of the
you are in the splash.
I hate this shit. Every new detail I learn about this makes me angrier.
You are in the splash zone. Start from the top. Bacalar, we got to tell the people what these non-fungibles are.
Again, I am not an expert by any stretch.
Okay.
In the same way, I'm not a stock and stonk expert when it was time to explain GameStop. Okay.
Okay. Disclaimer.
Again,
out
like
of the
all
way.
things, I crash course in a weekend, and I come out the other side just a tiny bit more educated.
What is it?
So the big thing that has happened seemingly in the last 2 weeks is the idea of something called NFTs. And they are very much related to cryptocurrency, and they're very much related to blockchain. Or the blockchain.
But not
or your blockchain. Or my blockchain. Or my parrot's blockchain. Okay?
You don't have a parrot. Is it related to Ethereum?
Not anymore, I don't, thanks to Ethereum. What's that?
Is it related to Ethereum?
Yes, it is, because a lot of the Ethereum blockchain is where a lot of NFTs reside.
All right.
Okay. Now, before we get into this, I have seen a good amount of coverage, very, 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 very pessimistic coverage, very angry coverage, and I understand that anger. I am trying to learn as much as I can about all of this. I don't necessarily have hard opinions on the fact on the matter.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of this stuff is necessarily going away.
Okay.
No matter how much we might want it to.
But nevertheless, there are things about it that I think some people are maybe not considering, and we'll just make this an open conversation about the whole.
You gotta tell people what you're talking about.
My first exposure with this stuff came in the form of what the NBA is doing. They're doing a thing. They've been doing a thing for a while now called NBA Top Shot. It is essentially a loot box that they are selling. They teamed up with this company called, I think, Dapper Labs.
Okay.
And Dapper Labs, to my understanding, manages this side of the business and how it relates to blockchain. So what they're doing is they are selling loot boxes. You sign up for the chance, it's like a lottery, to purchase one of these packs as you would buy a pack of baseball cards, just with the understanding that there's a very finite amount of these packs.
Sure. If it were a fungible thing.
Right. So we're like 50,000 people all rush in to buy like one of 1,000 available packs, right?
Okay.
Inside the packs are these unique digital moments, is what they call them.
Okay.
And these moments are prioritized through their scarcity and rarity, which directly relates to their monetary value.
And they're unique.
And they're unique. Now, some of these moments have 5,000 of them. Some of them have 15,000 of them. Some, with varying degrees of, like I said, scarcity and rarity. The NBA has licensed out all of this stuff, and it has become more or less an overnight sensation, mostly built on the fact that there does appear to be a way to make a quick buck on this stuff, right?
So,
because, and which certainly draws justifiable criticism, without a doubt.
There's other stuff too. I mean, I don't know if we'll get it's so it is just to, I'll play the audience here for a second, and the audience is probably more ahead than I am.
You have an old man section.
Yes. It is a digital good that has a unique identifier that says you are the sole owner of this digital good, no matter what happens.
that is what the NFT is, right?
Yeah.
It is a non-fungible token. It is a unique, one-of-a-kind digital asset,
Right.
or at least represents a digital asset. So the sort of branch off part of this now is what has happened in like the art scene. There's been a crypto art explosion in the last year, where artists are now selling unique NFTs of their work where somebody can own solely the digital thing. Now, I do believe that we are very much entering the age of the intangible. I think that is where we as an evolving society are headed. Whether or not we want to embrace that or resist that, I just think that is I
think we've been living in non-tangible goods for a while.
I also think the pandemic has accelerated this process to a speed at which we are to a neck-breaking speed at which we are like constantly being whiplashed around in a way that it is very tough to digest these big moments, right? Where we all of a sudden one day wake up, Bitcoins are worth $50,000. People are trading digital fucking vertical videos of sports highlights. Beeple is selling millions of dollars worth of original art, and they're just like JPEGs floating around.
So there is a world.
Oh, you missed the best one though. You missed the best announcement yesterday, which is that the band Kings of Leon have gone in on this to be the first musical artist to get in on this hot new trend. So all the Kings of Leon heads out there, you must be fucking stoked.
So there's a world. There's a world where the person who made that original meme of Drew, could release it with a unique identifier that has been mined from the blockchain, and sell it to say you now own the original Drew meme print or whatever, the digital one.
Yes.
And now you are in a museum or in your personal fucking hard drive collection, you have the one that I made that is everybody else's digital copy of it is the same exact, but you have a signed unique identifier for your collection. Or in a world where video game releases are all digital, the collector's edition now, there's only 10,000 of these, and they come with their unique identifier to let people know. I mean, you can't transfer those anyway, but I guess your art prints.
Well, you can.
No, you can't transfer video. You can transfer these. You can't transfer ownership of video games.
Right. So think about that for a second.
Yeah. But I guess like the art book or something. This thing comes with like the statue. Instead of the statue, you got the fucking non-fungible statue. But this does come with. I have to stop here because this does come with a lot of the criticisms that Bitcoin comes with in terms of mining. Right. This comes with all of the
energy intensive,
environmental stuff,
and we definitely have to talk about that. And I think we definitely have to get there. I don't think we're done talking about the
fun and fungibles.
Idea. Or just I think a lot of it for me. It took a bit of like a way of changing the way I thought about subjective value. Right, like a comic book that was printed in 1939. There's only 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't give a shit about that comic book because it is just paper in a case, and I don't care. It's worth $0 to me, but to someone, it's worth $5 million, right?
Well, but some of that is rooted in the natural aging process and natural rarity that develops out of things like that, inevitably being destroyed over time.
Sure. A Pokemon card, which doesn't have that same sort of age, carries the same subjective value, right? These are just things. So what I find interesting, and again, this is neither an endorsement or a sort of like standing position on the matter, but some of the things that I've started to read about, which I find interesting, is the fact that a lot of this stuff could be used to protect creative artists, right? Where if you have a thing that is uniquely identifiable and you make a thing and that thing starts to get passed around and used, you could then sort of claim ownership, or at least in some of the real, ambitious ways of looking at this almost have like an automatic residual process set up because of this unique identifiable blockchain that, an item like this is placed on, right? So like, I think there are interesting ideas here. Okay. I've been reading a lot about, there's this artist I really like. His name is Alex Pardee. He does some interesting stuff. And I was reading, he's like in his 40s, and he wrote a thing on Medium about, he's like, look, I'm in my 40s. What, like, NFTs scare the shit out of me. I don't understand what's going on. But he started to, write about it and gave his perspective. I found that to be interesting. I think we are very much just moving at an insanely fast rate. And we're all like, things are being adopted so universally overnight, right? Like all of a sudden, everyone woke up one day and were like, well, we all breathe out of our asses now. Like that's what we're all, and like, that's kind of what it is. This insane change is happening so fast.
Well, it's more like if breathing out of our asses took out an acre of rainforest every single minute.
Right. I get it. And look, the environmental impact of mining is a very big part of this puzzle. I absolutely agree. I think that's a complicated thing too, right? Like, I think, there's a lot of interesting things to unpack about the environmental argument when it, right? Like a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of mining, a lot of Bitcoin, these miners, these people who mine this sort of stuff, they're always drawn to the most affordable electricity, right? The cheapest electricity. Thankfully, renewable energy is quickly becoming the cheapest form of energy.
Yeah, but if everyone starts jumping on top of that, the actual environmental gains we will get out of renewable energy will at some point be canceled out, won't they?
I don't know. I think it's interesting that the path of least resistance, though, is not like burning more coal, right? Like the path of least resistance is potentially renewable energy because it is becoming cheaper than fossil fuel energy.
It's getting
right?
there, yeah.
I also, someone was asking me what I thought about this. And again, like it's complicated. You can't have a black and white, anyone who's like on a soapbox right now, like saying one way or the other, to me is insane because this is so goddamn brand new. And so, I just don't think this is the time where we're just like, I have a final fucking opinion on this. I didn't know about it 2 weeks ago. But nevertheless, I've come to the conclusion that this is the end of civilization.
Well,
I can't be as fatalist as that. And I know you're not like that, Alex. I'm not saying.
Well, no, I'm not. But I also I've looked into this and I've read about this since you first brought it up, and I've seen the explosion that you're talking about. And it's not the rapidness with which this is expanding that bothers me. It is the very concept of it. Like the value of it to me is nil. Like I don't care. Like, and part of this is a personal perspective where like the idea of owning myself a fucking video of LeBron James or, a part of a web comic or God help me, a fucking Kings of Leon, anything is non-existent. I don't care. There's no value to that. And just because I can be the only person who owns it, none of that matters to me in the slightest. So the very concept of this to me is bankrupt. Like there's just no value in it whatsoever.
Totally.
And then when you pile on the actual impact of what it's doing, to me, it seems aggressively like valueless, like to the point where it is actually removing something in place of what it is. It is taking away something, which is to say resources, energy for a completely valueless construct. And the rapidness with which people are jumping on this and companies are saying like, oh, this is a way for us to make a quick buck, or in some cases artists are using this to make a quick buck, just says to me that there is a desperation built into all of this. Like we have to like there's no reason to do this unless you are just trying to find a way to get rich quick or make some money quick.
And that is absolutely the worst part of the whole thing, because that is a tangible thing that we see happening immediately, where like people, and again, like
the NBA is not hard up for cash. They are a $1 billion organization. They don't need to do something like this, but they are choosing to because they see it as a valuable, possibly valuable revenue stream.
The worst part is, without a doubt, I mean, it's the same thing with like the scarcity of the consoles, right? Where like people are just freaking out to buy one of these things just to flip it, and that is just it's just pure evil.
But
right?
I think
that's what it comes down to.
I think there is another valid layer that this might be new, but it is built on top of a technology that we already know about, and we know about some of the consequences of mining Bitcoin and what those do. So I think what Alex and I agree with him is the thing you're building on top of this kind of already damaging institution is basically another stock market. Basically another way for money to trade hands between people who want to invest in this stuff. And if it were divorced from the part where the energy required to make the system work were not there, then it might be even a little goofier and be like, you don't want to participate, don't participate.
It's a dumb thing, but who cares?
The energy part of it sucks.
But we are in an energy crisis. Like that is
without a doubt.
And a climate crisis. So it's hard to divorce it.
Like at this point, like it's to me, it feels like we know where we're at climate wise. We know where we're at as far as and the need for renewable energy and the amount of resources that we as a species eat up on a daily basis. Totally. And this is taking that knowledge, printing it to paper, and then throwing it on a giant fucking tire fire. And then you own that tire fire.
Look, again, who could be on board with that, right? Like, who could be stoked about that consequence of it?
Apparently a bunch of people.
My point of view is I can't, here's the thing too, unfortunately, this is not a thing that someone could just turn off overnight, right? Like, it's not like, we're going to wake up tomorrow and everyone mining is going to have an environmental conscience and be like,
no, God, no.
Right. So that's what I think about, right? Like, where things are in motion, and unfortunately you have gotten to a place where you've evolved in this way that oh man, we are exponentially, putting our foot on the gas. What do we do?
Well,
there are people who are thinking about this, right?
I hope so.
The efficiency of mining is the biggest, culprit in the entire workflow.
No, the existence of mining is the biggest culprit.
Alex, but that's like being mad at a thunderstorm, right?
No, it's not, because we don't create thunderstorms. We don't make them.
I understand, but how do we reverse engineer? How do we just stop everyone from mining?
We stop the blockchain. We end it. We destroy it right now.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, let's figure it out. That seems like an actually valuable thing to look into.
But the wild thing about it is the whole concept of the whole thing is to be decentralized, so where it's it has almost no ownership.
I think neither
did Skynet, and look how that went.
I think it's more of a high conversation. I think it's paradoxical.
I could go smoke some fucking weed if you want to have this. I'll do it.
but I think
it's paradoxical in a lot of ways.
But there is a collision course with reality that can be very devastating if seen. If you're in a free market energy market, like you saw what happened in Texas, where rates of supply and demand go up.
Blow up the internet.
Where rates of supply and demand, your energy rate goes up through supply and demand. What happens if you live in a high demand? I live in a fucking Bitcoin cooker neighborhood where demand goes up, and now I'm just trying to stuff
totally,
like that. We like the technology I don't have the answers. I'm just reporting what is happening.
Yeah, and I'm reporting that this is the thing that turns me into Sarah Connor. I'm going to fucking blow up the Ethereum factory, and they are going to send me to a fucking hospital, and that's fine.
Alice is going to be sitting huddled with the Terminator hand, and I had to stop it.
Look, and let me be clear, Jeff, I'm not mad at you, and I don't mind you playing devil's advocate here, because I need to hear these arguments out loud to understand them. But I'm telling you right now, there is no version of this I will not stand in opposition to. It does not exist.
Look, I hear what you're saying. There is a version of this where I would be okay with it if the environmental impact was was lessened, right?
But it would have to be a totally different concept then.
Maybe not. The future is not going to be a future where we're using less energy. I don't understand how that's going to be a thing.
No, but we should probably be using those energies for things that actually benefit people and not for a fucking clip of a slam dunk.
Look, dude, you're preaching to the choir.
I mean, listen, I think I think there's going to be a lot of information coming out. There's going to be a lot of misinformation. There's going to be a lot of real information. Yeah. I think a lot of this stuff, Jeff, I see your point of like, hey, heads up, this is coming.
Heads up,
heads up, this is coming.
It's here.
But
it's arrived.
But I think if you look at I think my point, and Alex, you probably share this as well. If you look at human nature, they will abuse this until it's broken, and then the rest of us
finding ways.
And the rest of us will be there to pick up the pieces. So it's easy to get cynical about it, of course, because it sounds like the dumbest fucking thing in the world, and be like, well, by the time we figure out what happened, it'll be too late, or like, you know,
I don't know. I know. It's like, what is the answer going to be? It's really wild. I mean, the disruptive like impact on the world economy is only now are people starting to be like, fucking, what the fuck is this brand new like power intensive country? Oh, that's not even a place. It's just like it's blockchain.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
we're talking about a concept that eats more energy than several major countries.
Totally.
We
it's
have
like
a real problem
or something. It's like 30th in the chain of
So here's
demand.
what we need to do. I solved it. Ready?
Well, if you could solve it,
I did.
That would be great.
Check out the hook while my Vinny revolves it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We get this whole SpaceX thing, and we launch a supercomputer close to the sun that is just running off of solar power, beaming the blockchain back to Earth. So it is just, you get this they launch a big old solar powered supercomputer, and it just runs over there, and it soaks up some energy, and then then in Alex's nightmare world, 100 years from now, it comes and invades Earth because it became sentient and comes in.
Okay. Got another one for you.
Okay.
Here's another option.
Okay.
We load all the people who are participating in this bullshit onto a SpaceX rocket, and we launch it into the sun.
We give that they won a free trip.
It's a non-fungible ticket.
Yeah, and it's go enjoy. You guys are the superstars. Go ahead. We found the blockchain. You get to go visit it. We're gonna put you.
I think. Look, I think my fascination with this should not be mistaken for endorsement of it.
No, I don't think it is. I think you are just trying to find all angles of this thing because you want to understand it. And I get that.
Exactly. Just the way I want to understand, what happened with the stock market last month. So I think it is endlessly, for me, it's like, when I start to understand a thing, I like get very close and I'm able to like look over the edge into the black hole. And then I'm like, oh fuck, that's a goddamn black hole. I don't want to, and you like back away from it. Some of the artists that I respect, that I know personally, I talk to about it, and I do think there is a general interest in some of these people who, if only for the idea, obviously the negative environmental angle aside, are interested for what it can mean for what they do for a living, right? So like, I think, look, whether or not we like this, unfortunately, it seems like this will find its way into video games sooner than later.
You're gonna do
there's already been like blockchain developed stuff. Like I get those fucking press releases every now and again. Like the blockchain's here.
I mean, this stuff is like, this sounds similar, and I don't know the technology, but it sounds similar to like people selling Dota stuff on the black market, right? Like, or selling accounts where it's like, this is a unique item. It's now has value because it is unique, and you can't just replicate it. And you want to buy this thing for money,
right?
So I think.
What if we built an entire wind farm for Dota hats?
Yeah, I'm down. Have it funded by the people who got launched into space.
Dude. But yeah, I think like
there is no chance this is not coming to video games.
No chance.
No
In fact,
chance.
video games perfected it. or perfected a version of it by the whole loot box fiasco.
Yeah.
And assigning all this subjective value to intangible things.
So just look out for your coming to a Google image search by you. 50 cents per view on every Google image you want to look through every time you search. Every time you want to click on make this image bigger, 50 cents. It's what?
You think
in a world like that makes sense where you get paid for your thing you did in a world that's a fucking nightmare, right? Where the internet now becomes a pay-per-use, where there is no more free sharing of information, where everybody's getting theirs because
I don't think it's that. I think it's commercial use, but yes.
I don't. Who knows? Like, why don't you get? Why don't you get? If you took a picture of a McDonald's, or not even a McDonald's, that's already. Oh, you took a picture of a tree, and I want to use it for, and you put it up, and it's on the internet, and
that's what Getty Images is.
And then and it's on a Google image search, and I want to use it as a podcast art. Maybe you should get 50 cents.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what Getty is, right?
Well, that's if your image was you uploaded it to Getty and you licensed it, right? But if if it just came up in a fucking crawl through the internet, like I don't know. But also that kind of sucks.
It is complicated. It's very it's scary, to be totally honest. It is this intimidating sort of like looking into the void kind of thing. And I do think like a lot of this, again, I know I'm very much a broken record when it comes to like how I feel about what COVID has done to humanity in terms of like accelerating a lot of antiquated things in our world. But this just being like the weird cyberpunk byproduct of it, to me, it's just tough to really put it into perspective and have a true appreciation for what it will end up meaning and doing to our everyday life. I know that's very heady, but that is truly like the paradox that swirls around in my head. And, like thinking about my child's understanding of like personal assets and value of things and what it all means. It is a mind fuck, to say the least, for sure.
And it's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, until the lights go out.
Yeah.
Until the lights go out.
And then all that's left is a sick slam dunk.
So anyway, that is a very not quick, but very dirty explanation of what's been going on since the last time we spoke. And
this is why we did not have time for this last time.
Yeah, I know. It's very long.
By the time we get to this next week, people will be selling their social security numbers through the blockchain.
Somebody's already selling my social security number, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus all your social security numbers are out there. Do you remember when those credit companies leaked all that shit?
Yeah, I wish it were on the blockchain. Then maybe at least it would cost somebody a little bit to find it.
That's an interesting point.
No, it's not an interesting point. All right, none of my points have been interesting. Free information, baby. Stop, share it. Let's go. Let's get out there and man, copyright fucking sucks and is weird and is tough.
It is.
It's tough.
It's weird and it's tough, man.
It's weird and it's tough. I want artists to get paid.
I think that's good. I don't know if it does it. I don't know if does it, but at what cost?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, we're gonna take another quick break while you, if you're at home, you'll have at least 2 or 3 minutes to ponder these fun questions. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. Let's do a little palate cleanser here with some emails. What's that?
Oh, I thought it was
clean that palate.
with some duty.
No, I'm not doing duty anymore. We got through the duty. Now we're up to the emails. If you've got an email, you can send them into beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. Here's a fun one coming in from Christopher and Marissa. Alex, why don't you take it?
Sure thing. Where is that one?
It is the
He's
first
lying.
one.
It's
It's
the
Oh,
first
it is
one.
the first one. Sorry, I skipped over it. There we go.
Mhm.
What are your current coffee habits? Have they changed since quarantine?
My coffee habits.
Coffee.
My coffee. I was making a pot of a brew, a French press brew every morning. That got me about 2 mugs of coffee. But then as now I go take a walk and get a coffee. Now that things have I need to get exercise.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. Mask up. I have mapped out about half of my walk on the commute both ways, and I try to hit a coffee store that is that far away, and I've been trying to get that. So it actually has now returned a little bit more to what my morning coffee habit was.
What do you pay for a cup of coffee?
$2 something.
It's not terrible, right?
Is it like a big coffee?
Is it a large? Is it a large coffee?
It's
a
a
tall boy?
It's a large coffee. It's a large
You
coffee.
drink? You don't drink coffee, right, Alex? Or you do?
No, I do.
Yeah.
So my habits pre-quarantine were I would usually either go to a Dunkin' Donuts or another local shop and grab a big old thing of coffee, iced in the summer, and on my way to work, and that would be my coffee for the day. But I haven't been to work since March. So on weekends we make our own coffee here, and that has just extended to the week now. We have a French press. Sam and I, we brew a pot. Mostly she brews it because she gets up before I do. And that's my cup. I have a big old mug of coffee once a day, and that is it.
Yep.
I don't drink more than that. Any more than that would kill me.
I'll tell you, back in the pre-COVID times, I was drinking up to 2 or 3 a day, maybe rarely 3, more like 2.
I could hit that too. Yeah, as well.
I could hit 2. I would, I would also, they would not be as large, but I'll tell you this, I've cut down so much on coffee since, being home so much that it's weird. I just haven't required the same amount of pep. In fact, I was like staying true to my coffee regimen when the quarantine started, and I was like, 2 o'clock would roll by and I'm like jittering at my desk and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And that's when I stopped drinking 2 coffees and I, got my control back. Only now am I starting to sometimes slide in a bit of like a dirty coffee. You know what that is?
No, I don't know what that is.
A real nice dirty coffee, little bit of like not a shot of espresso, but like Stacey and I will split a shot of espresso and pour this half shot into a cup of coffee.
Do you do that at home? You have an espresso thingy at home?
We got gifted one of these little espresso maker things.
What are you what got going on in your room there? You got some noise there.
Oh, you hear it? Shit.
Oh yeah, it's breaking through your gate every time you talk.
All right, I'll close the window. I got some construction. They're mining fucking Bitcoin.
Oh, I thought that was your Ethereum mining machine going on back there.
Yeah. How much of LeBron James do you have now? How much dunk do you have? Is it
$? Dunks.
I imagine it. I imagine when it's mining, it is just like drawing in like old internet used to when you're on dial-up of a JPEG, a line by line as you as you mine it. It'd be like, oh yeah, here it comes. Anyway,
that's sweet dunks, baby.
Look at that. All right, we got another email here. So yes, things have changed, but things have stayed the same. Jeff, why don't you take this one from Brian? I'm not sure we can help here, but I do want to commiserate, and I've had similar issues here about HDMI stuff.
Hey, duders. Excuse me. Oh, all this duty. Real random one here, guys, but I'm running out of people to ask and place to check. And I figure you guys have enough experience troubleshooting tech that you could understand the issue. I really appreciate any and all help you can provide. I got my PS5 on Tuesday, and I've been having an issue where I boot it from being unplugged and go to the HDMI port it's plugged into. The whole screen is this is fucking tech support. The whole screen is either a completely washed purple or green. The weird thing is when I change to a different HDMI, basically swap channels and then go back, it works perfectly. Has anyone had this issue? I've tried 3 different ports, 2 different cables.
Like my heart.
Here's my number. My feeling is that it's something to do with the transfer given. But the transfer given, it works after swapping to another channel and back, but I can't. Okay, so basically what's happening is it sounds like it's like a weird handshake issue.
Yeah.
This sucks.
I mean, this sucks. HDMI is great and terrible. It's like that's really what it is. Like any weird funkiness, especially if it winds up working, it's just a weird initial handshake. And for whatever reason, sometimes, and there's so much fragmentation in that standard, right? You've got all these different cables, all these different TVs with different, interfaces.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
It
just sucks. And sometimes you're just going to get this unfortunate combination of things. Look, this sucks that you have to go back and forth. It also, ultimately is not that big of a deal that you're able to at least get it to work, but it does suck. I'm sorry. My understanding is that it's probably a handshake issue.
My picture would drop out sometimes, just go black. And I have to go to channel and come back. Sometimes it'd just be snow on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go to so you're not alone here, Brian. If anybody has any, Brian, if you're in our comments on giantbomb.com and you want to talk about this more, maybe some other people know more about this that are listening to the show, but you're not alone here. It stinks and I feel bad. I'm sorry. It is a crappy thing.
And you did all the right things, Brian. Like you tried a different cable, different input, the whole thing. That's what you should have done. I mean, what else can you do besides get a new TV, right?
That's right. And another PS5. It's the only.
I mean,
and a big receiver, and then just get the whole chain done.
And wait, did I read correctly? Did he try it on a different TV?
I think different ports.
Honestly, I would also try it on a different TV.
Stop. What if it works on a different TV? He's just going to be like, I'm all right. Well, I guess this TV.
I'm just saying that's how you narrow down that's how you troubleshoot, bud.
Yeah, I know. But the worst thing is if it works, then you're like, I wish I didn't have this information. I wish I didn't know this. Yeah. It's stinky poo-poo. All right. I'm going to read this one from Jacob. I thought it was kind of fun here. Let's do it. It says, I wanted to ask the podcast what their favorite phrases were for describing everyday things. I always love to hear regional colloquialisms and wanted to hear what you guys say or use to say for certain things. Okay, ready? I'll start. I'll read these off. So Bacalar, someone's really drunk or getting drunk. What would you say?
I would say just getting drunk. I don't have a fancy phrase for that.
Alex?
I've got a bunch. I don't know the name of regional, but
getting tanked, maybe. I said getting tanked.
I would say wasted.
Wasted was the one I thought. Oh, okay. Blitz, sure.
Smashed.
Blitz I would use more for stoned, I think. He's blitzed, but
weed can blitz.
I'm not blitzing anything when I'm high. It may be the refrigerator, but that is about it.
Wasted was the one I thought. Man, that dude is wasted. Don't go near him. Alex, throwing up.
God, I don't know. Puking, barfing, hurling.
Vom.
Vom, really?
I just be like, oh, unfortunately, he vommed.
Yak.
Oh wow, I've never heard that. Yacked, I've heard.
Yeah,
sure.
He's gonna yak. I think that's what I would probably say.
Laughing at the carpet.
I've never heard that before either.
That's not one I've heard either.
Praying to the porcelain god.
That one I've heard.
Okay.
That's too many syllables. So.
Yeah, I'd say yak. Oh man, somebody yacked over here. Is probably what I would say.
Hurled, I only have by way of Wayne's World. That is not a regional thing, but I'd say puked and barfing are probably the ones that were most used in my household.
If you're gonna spew into this,
nice.
There you go.
Taking a huge dump. I think that's it.
Taking a huge dump.
I think that's the one. I got. So was somebody in there taking a huge dump? I have to take a huge. I would use that pretty much universally. I gotta go take a huge dump.
I think I've always been back in the day it was more like dropping a deuce.
Okay, if you're being cute, sure.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
Number 2. Is it not a number 2?
No, it is.
Juice?
Yeah, but
that
if
is
you're
the assigned number.
if I'm getting down to business and I got to take a huge dump, I'm probably just going right for the quick on this one. Hey, out of the way, I got to take a huge dump.
Gotta drop a dumper.
You know what I say more often than not is, hey, I gotta make a duty.
Okay. And that's where to the next email. Thank you very much,
I mean, this
Jacob.
fucking thing set it up for me. If I'm not going to use the pin here, when am I going to use it?
I don't know.
No, I'm on Jeff's side on this one. You set it up.
Fucking softball.
Jacob did add, and I thought this was funny. Jacob from New Orleans said he's heard friends in New Orleans sloppier than a soup sandwich from New Orleans for being drunk.
I don't like any part of that.
Well, don't say that right after the pooping thing. Jesus.
Alex, read this next one from Ryan.
You didn't do the
please.
last one.
I didn't know because you
Actually,
ended it
can
with the
Jeff
duty.
do this one? Because I accidentally closed the doc.
Okay, yes, Jeff, can you do this one?
Ryan?
Yes, but address it to Alex from Ryan.
Yes.
Hey, Alex, I think I've come to the realization that I hate Metallica. This is funny.
Okay.
I was listening to some of their music to get ready for Alex's drum stream, and I just couldn't find much of anything I liked. The singing is horrible. It all sounds like butt rock from a heavier butt. They basically made metal full of bros, like what happened to the country 10 years. Oh, what happened to country 10 years back? I didn't know that happened to country. If none of that convinces you, they're basically the reason Avenged Sevenfold exists.
I mean, okay.
And he actually likes Avenged Sevenfold. Look, Avenged Sevenfold made one album that I thought was very good. I will admit, I think Avenged Sevenfold made one very good record, and then then they all turned into bats or whatever. But I'm sorry, Alex, this is your question.
Look, I get it. I do not ascribe the theory that Metallica is the sole responsible party for bringing bros into metal. If we are being completely honest here, bros were always in metal. They were always a part of the scene. Now, do you want to say that they mainstreamed
How can we know
it?
this?
Huh?
How can we know this?
Because I think if you just go look back into metal history, it's full of dudes. It's dudes, and there's bros among dudes. That's just how that works.
Yeah.
Bros
now, do you want to say they mainstreamed it in a way that other bands did not? I can get to that. I can agree with that. And do I want to listen to any Metallica album at this point after the Black Album? Not really. But I do not think you can remove the influence and the power that those 80s and that one early 90s album had on the entirety of metal. You know, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. Like, these are classics for a reason.
How do you I was having this conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago about the Napster stuff. And, I was saying like, oh, they're some of their legacy is grounded in like
definitely
being the dickheads, right?
Undoubtedly.
So, and he was like very defensive. He was like, and I was just like, I mean, you can't detach that story from that band.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big part. What was that, like 2000, 2001?
Yeah, it was in the early 2000s.
How do you think history should write that chapter?
It should write the chapter to say that one of the biggest metal bands of all time got very old and got very in their feelings about their money. Yeah. And they decided to effectively become the spearhead for further ruining copyright law beyond where it already existed, so that no one would pirate the worst album they ever made.
And it was the worst album.
Saint Anger is an irredeemable piece of shit.
So were they more mad at their art?
I mean, it's very Saint Anger came a little bit after that. This would have been around the time they did that S&M live album with the orchestra.
The orchestra one, yeah,
which is fine. Like, that album is fine. But the point being
that album, I bet, was a big door opener for them.
It was one of the first things I remember downloading on Napster. If we're being completely honest here. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, no, that legacy, I think, is inextricably wrapped up in what that band is and who that band is. And, you can throw a whole lot of that blame probably at Lars more than anything else. But
he became like the
spokesperson.
The spokesperson, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't get Metallica to sign off with just Lars. Like, Lars was maybe the mouthpiece, and Lars is a dumbass in a lot of different ways, but nonetheless, it's the band's legacy, and they are unfortunately never going to be able to extract themselves from that.
And just when you thought like maybe enough time had passed where there were enough people who had never heard of Napster, then that whole fucking Twitch BlizzCon thing happens.
Yeah.
And everyone then like had to kick open the history books and be like, what the fuck is this?
It's like I said, irony is a patient predator. You don't know when it's going to come for you, but when it does, boy howdy, it comes for you.
Wait,
and in this case,
what was the BlizzCon thing? I didn't know.
You didn't know about this?
Oh yeah.
No, is it a
So
long thing?
Metallica.
Okay.
Well, no, it's quick. So Metallica did a quick concert thing for the digital BlizzCon, and they secured the rights for their own stream, but on Twitch they did not. So they played elevator music over
I have
Metallica.
a question about that. So was it more of just the licensing for the streaming, and it wasn't like, because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, they did it so they wouldn't get triggered by a DCMA thing, but like, or DMCA. I always mix up the M and the C.
Yeah.
But like the filters wouldn't have sniffed out a live thing.
You don't know that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
A live thing?
A live thing?
Whether it happened while it's live or not, you know, like the thing is, it's a Metallica concert, and if there's anyone who catches wind that they are streaming a Metallica concert,
right. I was talking about like an algorithm sniffing out a live recorded thing. You think so?
I don't know. How live is it really? I don't know what I'm saying.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
they were playing. It was live. I don't know.
Were they?
Either way, they decided the risk was not worth it. Twitch decided that. So nonetheless, that's where they ended up.
It was just Twitch.
All
Right?
right.
It was just Twitch.
It was just Twitch.
Yeah.
We got this question a lot here. I don't know what happened, but we got like 10 of these that came in. So I'm gonna read this one from JB. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing well. Late last year, I became a first-time homeowner, and learning things I had no idea were a thing to worry about. What is the weirdest advice or tip you would give to a first-time homeowner? A tip or bit of advice that if you heard yourself for the first time when you bought your first home would make you think that the person was not all there. Hope you have a great day. JB. So this was funny. We did get a unprecedented amount of I'm a first-time homeowner emails. I had just talked to one Dan Reichert last weekend about home ownership. I would say everything's
By the way, that conversation should have been a podcast. Like, I'm sorry. I heard about your conversation with Dan.
Wait, from Dan?
Yeah. Actually, from two people. I won't name the second person.
Uh-oh.
It's fun. It's funny. It's fun.
Okay.
It's all funny.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Dude, that conversation should have been had like on in some public forum.
In the Clubhouse.
In Clubhouse.
Uh-huh.
But like think about anyway, maybe I'm just so
was
desperate
very good.
for
It was
like
very like, you know, hey, you gotta
to laugh
talk
at Dan, but
no, I wasn't laughing at Dan. We were talking home stuff. Just, you know, talking stuff.
It's like, should I make fires in the basement?
No, stop it. No, he was but I would say everything's gonna break is the home ownership advice. I would start as soon as you buy the house, start saving more money. Everything is a ticking away. Entropy will destroy everything. Hey, you got everything is that you got signed off on is now day one is ticking away. Your furnace, your boiler, your this, your
sand
that.
is running out on all these
on
things.
everything. Start a slush fund for repairing everything. I don't know about those those like appliance insurance things. I'm not gonna say go.
So
yeah,
I was gonna say like if you can finagle it out of the sellers. Like sometimes they'll just do that as a make good for something. Again,
the insurance thing.
I've bought 2 houses in my life, and I've gotten one each time, and they've netted me.
Yeah,
you know,
paid dividends.
Netted it out.
So they've made good on the claims if you did have to like replace a fridge or something.
Yeah, so like if these were not specific appliance warranties; these were general home repair warranties, but like. They were very thorough and inclusive, and I made sure of that, especially the second time I bought a place.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, to your point, okay, it all breaks.
It all breaks.
Your house,
it wants to break. The only thing between it breaking is you, like, and a repair person.
You might have actually said this to me because I know I was in deep consultation with you upon the purchase of my home. Your house is not supposed to be there. It's fucking true.
It's true.
It's fucking true.
Given a minimum amount of years, it would be gone.
Your house.
It's a constant battle to keep it there.
If no one kept your,
Yes.
if the upkeep in your house was not done for 30 years, your house is just gonna go away.
It just be a chimney.
Just swallow it up.
Just be a chimney and it'll be
the
gone.
same way a fucking tree figures out how to grow inside of a chain link fence, and the same way like it fucking lifts the sidewalk because it's so goddamn powerful.
Yes.
Your fucking house is not supposed to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get fucked with if you don't stop the fucking, if you don't invest in the fucking thing. So that is that, and that, but that advice, that thought should lead to you understanding of how much you need to proactively do and reactively do to make sure your house is like, somewhat in a good condition at all times, in the sense that it is eventually going to want to destroy itself.
Revert to dirt, which is
eventually just going to want to implode and combust.
The other thing I would say quickly is know the extent of the damage you could do if you're trying to repair something. Know what the non-recoverable point is, where you say, I think I could take a look at this. Know what the point at which you should call someone to come in, or hey, this isn't a big deal. Like, if you can figure out that, there's a lot of good information online, but before you do it, just know, like, what's the worst that could do? Whether that's harm to yourself, somebody in the house, or your house, because some things are very dangerous, but just know that extent. Always turn the power off before you work on electricity or electrical stuff. And also water will destroy you.
Know where the main power shutoff is. Know where the main water shutoff is.
Yeah.
These are two very easily identifiable things. Most people don't. I mean, all you do is see these videos of people like in Texas, their pipes free, and all the fucking waters keep. Don't film it. Turn off the goddamn water.
Oh, those poor folks.
I mean,
sometimes it's tough. If you're renting a place, you can't.
Hey, let me back that up.
Yeah.
Let me back that up. If it's like an apartment building, you might just be fucked. But if it's your house, it's your responsibility to understand where your own personal water shutoff is.
They don't tell you. Like, you will move into that house.
No, they don't tell you.
You will move into that house, and like, you will get stuff installed, and they will not say, hey, every year you're supposed to do maintenance on this thing. Nope. You just like,
that's up to you to figure out.
Yeah.
And again, like, I know this guy already went through the process of the inspection, but like, people who are listening, who are in the process of buying a house, like, that inspection, use that inspection time to ask literally as many questions as you possibly can ask, because that doesn't come, that's just going to come along with the price of the inspection, right? Because like, you have this person, you have this professional in the home who's giving you this completely, hopefully, objective report about the house, and find out where the water shutoff is. Find out, because these are the crucial elements to avoid catastrophic damage.
It's true.
Catastrophic damage.
Yeah. Or even if you're working on something, you might want to, there are going to be times where you're going to want to shut the mains off for either your gas, your electricity, or your water. So yeah, no, that's stuff.
I just read a good one in the chat. My weird advice of home ownership: sniff more than you normally would. Sniff more often, which is definitely something
what
I've
if I
done.
have a bad sense of smell? Is that going to help me at all?
Get things that sniff electronically and get with good lights, bright lights on them.
Someone showed me this cool little get up. It is a leak detector that can automatically turn off your water, your main water supply with like a robot arm.
We got an email to the Beastcast about that. It detects continuous,
that's right. Yeah.
We got it. There's all sorts of stuff. It's water damage is very scary, as a lot of the country knows.
Water does whatever the fuck it wants.
The other thing I'll say on a fun note, you own that house, hang stuff on the walls, put a nail in the wall, go have a good time
right away.
Go
do it right away.
Do it right away.
Like,
go feel good.
This is crazy, but like,
screw something into that wall. Go find yourself. Go buy yourself a stud finder. Screw something into a wall.
Because you don't realize you're there, and all of a sudden a year goes by, and you're like, we didn't put anything on these fucking walls. What are we? We were like these like vapid human husks. Like, what are we doing? Put
That's
stuff on
me.
the wall.
And unless
Yeah,
you're
but look at all the shit on your walls, man. Like,
Yeah.
or get command strips and then put everything on the wall. Unless you have plaster walls, then maybe don't nail a thing into the wall unless you're ready to fix cracked plaster, which could be tough.
I mean, look, this is just the tease for the homeowners podcast that we're starting up in Q2. And everyone get excited about it. Water mitigation, clean those gutters, make sure you've got water angled away from your basement.
So much crap. I don't want to get into it. You're stressing people out now. It is.
Look, this is therapy for me. Okay, talking about it.
Don't put dirt next to anything you don't want to rot. If you have stacks of earth next to your house, and you all of a sudden are like, well, I'll just clean this up over here, this pile of trash. Oh my gosh, what are all these bugs chewing through the wood on my house? All right. Last question here. Last question. Alex, why don't you read this one about...
I don't have the doc up.
Oh, okay. Bacalar, take this one. I thought you would have gotten it up by now.
Sorry, I didn't.
Is this from RJ?
Is this one from RJ?
Skylar?
Yeah, RJ.
Okay. Dear Beast Crew, which celebrity chef do you think would be the most likely to break down and eat microwaved pizza rolls under the cover of night?
I put my note in here, the one that I could think of that I could totally see baking some pizza rolls, Tom Colicchio. Tom Colicchio, everybody,
the bald guy.
Yeah. The guy from the chef show. What is the cooking one? What was that one called? Top Chef. Yeah. Like everybody's asleep. He sneaks out of bed, puts his little slippers on,
like,
goes downstairs, goes downstairs, like boop 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 boop. Is like, no, I need these so much right now. They're delicious.
See, I don't think, and I don't know any celebrity chefs. Actually, I do know one quasi celebrity chef, but I don't think celebrity chefs like look down on that.
Some do, but they're not the ones you want to be eating their food anyway.
Yeah, like I feel like some of them are just like, yo, eat what makes you feel good. Okay.
Well, what if?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a big celebrity chef person. The closest I get to it is reruns of Iron Chef America. And of the Iron Chefs, I feel like Michael Simon is probably the most likely one to not only do that, but embrace it and be stoked about it. And that is no diss to Michael Simon's cooking. He seems like quite a good chef, but he seems like the kind of guy who would just be like, yeah, fuck it, I eat pizza rolls. Who cares?
I have more of like a guilty, would love to see it. Who's the British dude who's just yelling all the time?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, watch him eat a bunch of like.
I don't want to hear a man
something.
yell at pizza rolls. That's not interesting to me. I don't need that in my life.
I'm just saying I would love. I feel like he would freak out if anyone saw him do that.
I want to see a real. Okay, first this is going to be impossible because I want to see a real reality TV, but I want to see somebody on a reality TV show, like a Top Chef, fuck it up so badly, but then just microwave some pizza rolls on a plate and give it to the judges.
Dude, that's a good bit.
And be
I
like
that.
What? And just be like, wow.
Gave up halfway through. Here you go.
but just say like, I made these, and they're like, these are fucking amazing. What are these? I did a little thing. I did some liquid nitrogen.
This is mozzarella reduction.
It's a reduction. I broke it all up. I reinvented it, and really, it's just like some fucking Tostinos he pulled out. It's just like, I can't stop eating these. They're so good.
Well, that's like the whole like blind wine tasting thing.
Oh,
like,
right.
People can't tell if they're drinking $1,000 bottle or like something that's $12.99. What I would love. Oh, so let me humor me and listen to this quick story.
Okay.
I got a buddy whose dad looks exactly, and I'm not joking when I say exactly spitting image of Andrew Zimmern.
I don't know who
the Bizarre Foods guy?
Yeah, I don't know if that guy's a good guy or a bad, whatever.
I don't think he's anything. I think he's fine.
He's fine.
Okay.
Looks, and I cannot, the only thing that's different is the voice. They don't talk. They don't, but if you see this person, you're like, oh, that's him. Right? We were at his son's, my friend's bachelor party many years ago. And we were at a resort in, I think it was Connecticut. And we're showing up at the restaurant, and the restaurant thought that this was all like a pre-planned thing.
Wait, they could not.
They thought it was Andrew Zimmern.
They thought it was Andrew Zimmern, and they thought Andrew Zimmern was like either taping something. Because here's what happened.
Because Lord knows these people never eat outside of television. That never happens.
what they thought was happening, because he went to the restaurant like the week prior, went in and was just like, my son's getting married. I want a table for 20.
Oh, I see. So it was like a setup.
But they didn't they didn't talk about any.
Yeah,
they didn't even. They said his name is, what his name was.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Andrew Zimmer. They just said his name, his son's name, and they all like. So we get to the restaurant, okay, and everyone's like treating us like we're part of this crazy celebrity dinner, and not once did anyone like mention it to him. All they said was the chef would love to meet you, and he came out and met him, and they shook his. But like, what do you do in that situation? Do you like
wait?
just go along?
Did you realize what was happening? Or
we knew almost immediately.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Because people were like looking, because the restaurant itself made a big deal about it.
Yeah, but they never said why, right?
They never, and like we paid and we left and it was over, and then obviously we were leaving the restaurant and everyone's like, yo, that whole time they were like thinking you were Andrew Zimmern, and like it was the weirdest, strangest thing ever. Oh my God, it was a wild story.
I would pay $2 for the NFT of the token of that story. That's
$2.
about $2.
Hey, hold on. It's gonna cost.
It costs you 1/7 millionth of a Bitcoin.
It's gonna cost you the entire production of energy production of a wind farm.
That's right. Hawaii just went dark. Yeah,
good, we're done.
That's gonna do it for this week's show. Do not send Beastcast that giant bomb NFT email. Send them to Bacalar.
Yeah, don't.
Don't send them to Bacalar. He'll deal with it. Do not.
Why is this my thing? I don't own this. This is not my ownership.
This is non-fungibly Jeff Bacalar's problem.
This is not my problem.
This is not. You brought this upon us. People who are listening to the audio don't understand that I was just staring at you while you're talking.
I tried to tell everyone about it last week, but we didn't have enough time. And then look what happened. Okay. So I tried to get out in front of it and stop this.
You did.
Okay. What did you think?
How'd that go?
Right? And how'd that go? Well, because I got cut off. I got yanked. The Wrap It Up music started playing. Okay. And then the whole story went out into the ether. And then look what happened. People made $5 million.
No, I didn't. That's gonna do it for this week's show. I'm serious. Don't send me. Don't clog that in.
I don't care.
Send me. I do. Don't send me. Well,
I'm saying I don't care. Don't send me anything. I don't care.
Thank you, Jeff Bacalar. Good luck with your soldering,
dude. All kidding aside, we're gonna do this. We are going to make a keyboard on a stream. We've been teasing it for 6 months.
Oh.
But it's definitely going to happen. You're going to teach me how not to use the flux resin that I've been using incorrectly this whole time.
No, flux. No, right. Yes. You're using your flux and your resin and your resin core solder. Go flux yourself. Flux capacitor. We're going to run out of time.
Myself in a way.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Promise me.
No promises.
What the fuck?
Alex Navarro, thank you very much. Drumming tonight.
Yes. Metallica.
All right. Happy birthday if it's a birthday. Thanks everybody for listening to us. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making this podcast the greatest podcast in the known universe. We'll see you next week on the Giant Beastcast.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I didn't hear the music.
How'd you mess this up? He doesn't even hear us.
How do I know the show's over?
Okay, so that's the ending for the people who are listening to the audio version, and this is the ending if you're listening to it live. Ready? Check this out. Ready?
What happened?
Because you guys didn't get you didn't get all this.
I was willing to believe that it was over. You could have just told me it was over. You don't have to do the whole thing.
No, we're still live, baby. This is the secret ending here. Check this out.
Great.
Wow, you're watching this live. Now you get to hear the other part. And this is where we'd be talking over it. Right? So I
could something derogatory about Jeff Bacalar.
Bacalar, what are you doing? And like, oh no, we gotta hurry up because it's got 20 seconds left to get into it. and then kind of going through something about this and that, and the soldering's happening, and then all that. And I get to cut into the I get to cut back into the audio back into the other one. It's very easy to do in the pre-recorded version. Harder to do here on the live version. But if you like this and what you hear here, don't forget to listen to the Giant Beastcast each week. Man, I nailed it on that other one too, but you couldn't hear it, the timing. Thanks for listening, folks.